Great day to be a Tiger. JSU by 40 campaign. Coach Taylor, I was just thinking, I was sitting in my office and we were talking about Jackson State athletics, the tradition of Jackson State. You played here. What if 50,000 alums gave $40 a month for 12 months?
Man, that would be huge. That's money in the bank for athletic program.
Let's do this, Coach. I'm challenging all 50,000 alumni of Jackson State University, supporters, fans. Let's give $40 a month to JSU by 40 campaign. 12 months, 12 million. September to August, let's win championships in the classroom. Let's support Jackson State University. Let's support athletics. And let's make sure our coaches and our student athletes are successful. So again, Coach Taylor and I are challenging you, all 50,000 alums, $40 a month for 12 months to support Jackson State athletics. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Support the JSU by 40 campaign. Visit gojsutigers.com/JSU by 40.
What's good? What up? What up? What up, brother?
What up, pimpin'? What's up, V? I Love family?
What's going on? What's going on? Man, happy Wednesday, everybody. It's hump day. It is hump day. It is hump day. What's going on, man? Been busy today, man. Just
It's Thanksgiving Eve, so happy Thanksgiving to everybody for tomorrow, man. Everybody take some time and be thankful tomorrow. Be gracious, show gratitude, be grateful, and love on your family.
Man, definitely do that, bro. It's happy Thanksgiving, everybody, man. We want this is our official happy Thanksgiving to everybody. We appreciate y'all for rocking with us, man, this entire year. It's been a whole long year, man. Good gracious alive, man.
It's been a whirlwind of a year for the kids. So
you ain't alone, bro. You ain't alone, man. Hold on one second.
Do your thing, man.
There we go. Had a call come through as soon as we got started. But no, man, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, everybody. And if you feeling of good cheer, feel free to donate to the channel. The ticker at the bottom can show you all the different ways to donate. We appreciate all the support, man. Had an opportunity. Shout out to D Corey. Had an opportunity earlier, man, to we got our first live commitment, man, on TV, man. I mean, on YouTube live. Well, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, everything, man. We was live today, bro. Shout out to our new committed Jackson State Tiger. That's Mr. Jalen Payne and his family, man. It was exciting, man. That was fun. Thoughts on that, bro? I saw you jumped in the comment.
No, man. I was just gonna say, man, we mentioned it was dope, man. The kudos, well, I wasn't there, working, but first I'd be remiss if I didn't say, man, kudos to y'all, bro. Kudos to y'all, man, for doing the thing and breaking new trends. You know what I'm saying? Safe to say we're probably the first school affiliated platform in the HBCU space to actually do what we did today. So kudos to y'all for, doing something outside the box, and hopefully, man, it's the first of many more others to come. And the numbers were good, but not only that, Ken, to know that we got a commitment from a good player. I know some people made poo-poo the idea of getting a punter, but as you guys know, the season that we just commenced, punter is a need that we, it filled a need for us, and it's a damn good punter. That's different from Matt Nolan in the sense of this guy's really, really good with hang time. And he's a 5-star kicker, not 4.5. Kickers have a different system, star rating system, but he is a legit 5-star kicker with college experience. And so it fills a need. And again, adding now to the arsenal that we're going to have with this great signing class that we foresee ourselves having coming up starting next month.
Yeah, man. This is going to be a needs only signing class, man. We're going to address heavy needs. I'm already seeing some of the offers today, man. The majority of the offers I've seen, Zoe, cornerback, linebacker, edge rusher, and obviously in offensive lineman, defensive line. I mean, the coaches know what we need, man. They know exactly how to shape out this roster. And man, I like I told him in the interview, heck, if we could have had him in the middle of the season, it would have been phenomenal. We wouldn't have had our long snapper, Mr. Avery Salerno, himself kicking, which is interesting within itself. So, but either way, man, it was pretty awesome, man. It was pretty awesome to have his father on there. Mom was in the chat. It was different, bro, because it was live, and it's always great to hear a perspective of a young man who's choosing a college home. Hearing the perspective of his father, who helped prepare him, and just was a very cool thing. Only time we usually used to see that, Zoe, is we see that on 247 Sports, man, which is one of our favorite sites prior to doing what we do now.
Yeah.
And we still follow 247, but we just kind of be busy doing what we do. But prior to that, it was always the thing to, make sure that we stay tuned in with recruiting and everything.
Yeah. True that, knowing that we are in the space that we in and knowing that what we lean on with regards to rivals 247 and now On 3. But again, this is a legit 5-star kicker, man, with great hang time. So a damn good player for us. And like you mentioned, like you alluded to earlier, Ken, with the offers that we have out, quite a bit of cornerbacks, linebackers, edge rushers, as well as O-linemen. And not really going after too many running backs. As we stated, this running back room is loaded. But I want to highlight, I know you'll say that, the coaching staff knows what we wanted, but I want to actually add to that. Not only do the coaching staff know what they want, they know particularly where they can tailor-made the selections for the type of position player that we want. So it's not a matter of just going after position saying we need an edge rusher, but knowing now that you have a returning staff with the experience, now TC knows full well what's leaving, and he's going to find certain niches with the personnel that he has now to situate that. So it's not necessarily just going after edge rusher, but it could be a certain type of edge rusher for what we run. Not necessarily going after linebackers, but a certain type of linebacker to fit what we want to do. You see what I'm saying? It's not so much right, but now you can nitpick to fine tune where we were weak at to make it a strength going forward next season.
Absolutely. This is a pretty cool comment, man. This was one of the things that he was excited about. So we talked about library. He's like, man, I've never seen a 4-story library, man. And that was pretty cool, man. Usually he named the facilities too, man, which is pretty dope as well. Because, we've definitely upgraded facilities at Jackson State, and to see player come in cold and kind of get to know that's pretty awesome as well, brother.
And you know what else? He actually, from the portion that I got to see, Ken, one thing that stood out was that he's a true student athlete in every sense of the word, with his own personal interests and hobbies in regards to being a student, as well as, coming to JSU to punt. So that was refreshing to see as well. It was just a good look, man. Again, you have a recruit coming to commit, but also where you get a perspective of the parents, you know what I'm saying? And you see both aspects of it, be the athlete as well as the student.
Yeah, his dad, a former punter, trained him. He's proud that he said, he's gotten a lot of he's gotten some players to the this is his first player to get to D1. That was one of his goals. And that's pretty cool, man. It's a pretty cool story, man. So mom and dad.
Don't forget the last part what dad say. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure going forward, any kid I got, send them Jack State's way.
That was dope, man. Mom and dad, both alums of Albany State, both HBCU, best friend, Jack State grad and alum, and pretty cool stuff, man. So it was really cool, man, to experience that. That's kind of how we wanted to start it tonight with our preliminary. So we'll jump right on into it, man, and then we'll open it up. We know everybody. We did want to talk about the president's situation, at Jackson State tonight. So we did want to just table that so we can get through the weekend and then kind of give everybody an opportunity to come in and talk with us. So hopefully Brother C. Lee, hopefully Brother Jerome, and talk with us. All those to say the least, man, that Brother C. Lee come in, so TD, what's good, brother?
Hey.
What's going on with you, man?
Life.
Appreciate you, man, for
What
joining.
up, Zoe?
What's going on, man?
So we'll jump right into these quick preliminaries real quick. TD, you want to go ahead and open up with something for the people, then we'll keep rolling.
No, hey, happy holidays. Glad for y'all to join us. You know what I'm saying? What's up, KT Dub? That's about it, man.
That's right, bro. Happy holidays, man. Let's see. Let's get through this. Got a lot that I want to talk about tonight, man. Whole lot, really, man. So we'll jump into it though. Let's see what we got here, man. Let's do it this way. That way don't nobody get stuck with those whatchamacallits. Nobody gets stuck at the bottom with the comments. Y'all do know Givelify is attached to our foundation. If you want to donate via Givelify for a tax deductible donation, go to the Givelify and submit that donation. We do have t-shirts available on the website. Got some dope hoodies coming down the pipe. Finalizing some designs. It is getting cold, so we'll have those out for next month. So go to KC-1400media.com if you want to purchase any of the t-shirts that are available. Still got some in stock for some of our creative designs throughout this season. So 2024 season is already fire. That's right. You got that right. And next situation, man, as we all know, Jackson State University will be closed this Thursday. Yeah, it'll be closed this Thursday. Didn't mean to do that. That was weird. What the hell did I just do? Nope, wrong. Where we at? Where you go? I'm just playing around with this thing. There we go. Man, this light shining real bright in my eyes. I couldn't really see it. Here we go. In observance of Thanksgiving, of course, school will be closed tomorrow and Friday. We got some sports that's going to be taking place over the weekend. So looking forward to that. I wanted to start here, man. Because I want to send a huge shout out to Dawn Taylor, man, the wife of Coach TC Taylor. And I'm sharing this because she actually put this out there on her social media, and Tiger Talk shared it. And this was just phenomenal, in my opinion. We'll take us off the screen if y'all don't mind. And I just want to highlight this real quick. I'm gonna drop this banner and then we'll jump into this. But can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we won't be on screen for this one right here because I feel like this is anybody that haven't, maybe you don't follow, but don't follow Miss Taylor, the first lady, right? But I think she did a really good job of summarizing the JSU football season from her vantage point, and I just thought this was pretty dope, man. So not just a spouse, but just a alum of Alcorn, man. But she gets it, She said, if you know this story, to God be the glory. Congratulations, JSU football team, on a winning season. If I could only use one word to reflect on the 2024 football season, it would be proud. Was it perfect? No. However, that does not define who the 2023 JSU Tigers are as a football team. This team fought hard week after week, despite backlash and ridicule from naysayers everywhere, which is true. I literally watched last year's roster be dismantled by the portal. And despite it all, JSU finished the season 7-4. Only one team in the SWAC has a better overall record, all with a first-year head coach and a new coaching staff. I heard it all, ... Y'all know what that means. The good and the bad. Expectations at an all-time high. They said, follow the blueprint. She put a laughing emoji. No blueprint could outline all the challenges, inside, outside noise, and adversity this coaching staff and team would face. From the roster rebuild to the team injuries that literally left them without a kicker mid-season. Every week it was next man / woman up. No excuses from week 1 down to the very last game. This obstacle paved the way for history / her story to be written. Some disgruntled feelings after hard-fought wins and disappointment after tough losses. I can recall saying, TC, don't beat yourself up. Hard-fought wins build character and show the resilience of a team who did not give up. Win or lose, you remain humble, focused, and never let outside noise impact your ability to make the decisions for your team. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Keep praying, keep working, keep recruiting, keep coaching, and keep your head up. The foundation has been laid. Now it's time to stack the bricks. Yes, it's still guard the yard. It's bigger than football, in case you still don't know. Winning season, check. Back to the block, check. Championship run loading, check. Unfinished business, check. Still guard the yard, check. Start with you, TD. Let's get your thoughts on that.
Of course, you know, this is my first time seeing that.
That's why I put it up there, Mr. I only use IG. That was for you, bro, because you ain't alone. You're not by yourself on that. We have a lot of alum supporters and fans that don't do no social media. At least you do IG. Some don't do none of it because they don't, for the same reason you don't do Twitter and Facebook. But keep going, brother.
Yeah, I mean, you know, even if I was, man, I'd be fine with it. But I don't think she could have said that no different. I mean, and you know, I really didn't expect that from her because every time, you know, you near her, I mean, she's smiling, she's humble, she's being supportive. I mean, she's just the same way every time. So for her to speak those type of words as deep as they were, I mean, I felt them, you know, in my heart. I felt them running through my soul. I felt them as being a JSU alum and they ran deep. So I know I can only imagine how Coach Taylor felt seeing the support, you know, and knowing that he had to support from his, you know, from his right hand, from his wife. And man, that was very touching, man. So I really enjoyed that. I mean, you know, I read it as you read it, and I'm sitting here like, wow, I'm almost speechless in what she has to say.
Right.
And everything she said was perfect. It was fine tuned. It was well thought out. It was very well put together, always down to the emojis, from the heartfelt to the heartbreak. And you know, even, you know, being in some space with her when we may have lost some games, you know, I was like, you know, I know our fakes can be really tough at times. And I was like, well, I hope no one says anything, you know, very negative, because she never carried herself like I'm the first lady of this team. She carried herself as a casual, humble fan. And if you didn't know, you wouldn't have known who she was. And, you know, I was like, I hope no one want to say anything out the way. So that, you know, seeing what she just posted, that meant a lot to me. That got my weekend kicked off even more so than that turkey I'm gonna fry a little bit late.
Hey, look at this comment by Nugget. I'm jealous, Nugget. I'm jealous. What's up, bro? He said he out there in Detroit, man. Dang, they playing tomorrow too. The Lions versus the Packers, I think. Nug got there living it up, man. Congrats to you, brother. Enjoy that game, man. That's what's up. Keep going, though, TD.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's about it. I mean, her words were more than enough. I mean, that was really heartfelt, man. And shoot, now I'm geeked up, man. I mean, I want to go on the recruiting trail, man. I'm ready for the season to pop off, man. You know, do some training, man. So shout out to Miss Dawn Taylor, man. That was beautiful. I mean, with support like that, man, who is not motivated to strive forward, you know, to continue to push, because you could always have someone on the negative side speaking that negative talk and causing more disturbance. Silence can speak volumes, and she spoke when she needed to speak, and that was superb. So, I mean, mad props to her. Mad props.
Zoe, what you got, brother?
I want to say kudos to First Lady of JSU football, Ms. Dawn Taylor. I actually didn't look at it like it was a note. I actually gave it a title for the State of the Blue Bengal Address.
I like that.
It's exactly what it was. So much so that, first off, because she didn't have to do it. And when we talk about, and this actually, and just follow me here, this actually adds to what we always dub and what we say is, not only is we always talk about the vet is on campus, right? Because Jackson is our campus, right? But we also go to say where Jackson State is our professional team. And
right.
it comes to what she just did, what other coach's wife does what she just did? It doesn't happen. Not in the HBCU landscape. And again, it was unfiltered. It was just like, basically it read off like, I'm thinking out loud, but let me go ahead and address all of our fans right here in Jackson. Anybody that has any access to Jackson State, let me give you my thoughts of what this is like, you know what I'm saying, for all the Jacksonians out there. And it was tried and true. And actually, being that the whole moniker of Guard the Yard comes from them, what better way than to close it out but the State of the Blue Bengal Address to solidify why we came up with Guard the Yard. How at the end of the season, however anybody may view things, we still guarded the yard. And now this is going to be the close of this year. And this address is the segue going to next season. We pretty much discussed what happened during the season, where we're heading, where we're going forward with this season, and how we're going to guard the yard going forward. Basically saying that we had some successes, we had some failures, but this season was not a failure. Now, onward and upward, guard the yard for JSU 2024. And we just so happen to go from that to getting a 5-star kicker, on the recruiting, on the off-season workouts. Here we go.
Hey, man, you guys did a phenomenal job of just highlighting, your thoughts on it. I actually was talling, do I put that up there? Do I not? I was like, well, why not? For those who it was made to be public, and I wanted to extend it and extend that reach for those who maybe don't follow her or don't know, because I felt like it was very capsulated. It was a summarized version of her vantage point of this season. Now, I do want to add that post came with about 18 different photos that captured various different moments throughout the season. That was pretty cool. So just thought it was pretty dope. I know it was over 10. Maybe I have the number wrong, but the photos also went with it. So it was a very dope post.
No, was
about 18?
About 20 photos.
Yeah, something to that effect. I thought I saw about 18 like that. Mm-hmm. So but this is for those who were more than likely that usually watch the show, probably not live, but they'll watch it. We usually get about 3,000 to 4,000 people that watch these live streams. So if they get a chance, at least they did a mic drop afterwards. That's absolutely right. And you're right. We did get a 5-star kicker, Mr. Jalen Payne, committed today. Again, we're not going to spend much time on it again. We addressed it opening the show. TD, I don't know if you caught the live commitment, but that was really cool, man. Really cool to do. I'll let you, if you have any thoughts on that, and then we'll move on to the next slide.
No. I mean, y'all did excellent. I mean, everyone covered that. I heard what Zoe had to say as well. I mean, I'm happy for the commit. I'm happy that he's happy and that he already feels at home. And it let you know that all is not lost, you know what I'm saying, at 1400 J.R. Lynch Street. So, you got your good, your bad, your ugly, but that young man right there found the good, and he found him a 4-story library. Awesome.
That was dope, man. Hey, big news today also, man. Not only did we get a commitment from Mr. Jalen Payne, but we got a recommitment from a particular player. Jacktown Dog went on his Twitter today and said, let's run it back, Tiger Nation. Going out the right way. Y'all know I'm all in for show. Y'all deserve a healthy me. Hashtag guard the yard, man. So that was this morning. That's exciting news to know that JD Martin obviously will be returning back to Jackson State. As you know, he didn't have the season he wanted. He does have another year of eligibility. And what better way to have? Well, Zoe gave him a nickname too, Jacktown Dog. So we get Jacktown Dog back or JD Martin. It's not DJ Martin, Richard. Richard is not DJ Martin. Richard is not DJ Martin. Picky. Richard. It's not DJ Martin. It's JD Martin. JD Martin. Say it with me, everybody. JD Martin. It is not DJ Martin. Please get that right. All right.
But
that annoys me to no end. I'm not sorry for that. It's JD Martin. It's not DJ Martin.
I was going to actually add to that though. We mentioned about, again, to echo what you stated earlier, Ken, about getting the commit, but this is another commit. Because in the new age of college football, you're going to have to re-recruit your roster.
That's facts.
After every season. So this is actually 2 commitments for today. And some people may say, ho hum, he really didn't pay much, but let's not forget, JD Martin was the starting running back on this particular team. And Irv Mulligan is a coup to return back as well, right? But JD Martin was the starter for the season. So again, you're talking about
I said this Saturday too. I said, well, I guess we need to call DJ JD Stevens then. Maybe that'll make me feel better. But keep going, bro.
And so this actually goes to again another win. And the one thing that we're going to do that you guys are going to start to see is the great way to have success is not these big victories. It's consistent small victories.
Right.
And it's in succession. So the main thing, like I joke, because what's the one thing women love to tell us, fellas? I need consistency. Well, damn it, that's what we finna do. We try to get commitments every day. Small victories every day. Commitment. So again, you got JD coming back. We just got a 5-star punter. We're trying to get hey, we're gonna work on trying to get Irv Mulligan back.
Stay tuned for that. We don't know. We'll let y'all know when we know.
The staff is working. Again, we're trying to get commitments out every day. Get some, say it with me, ladies, consistency. and we're going to go from there.
Thoughts on JD, TD?
Yeah, man, I'm really happy to see this and for many reasons. For number one, the guy has a great character. And
yes, he does.
He's a pretty darn good ball player. I definitely like to see him, catching the ball out the backfield. I like to see him in open space. He's pretty shifty. And one of the biggest thing I would say for him getting hurt in the first game of the season after having the game that he had, anxious to come back, wanted to come back and help his team. And I know how demeaning it can be to be sitting back watching your team play, win, lose, or draw in tight situation, and you're not there to contribute. And now that he's excited about having this off season, being able to come back healthy and be a valuable commodity to his team, it's excellent that he not going out his collegiate career with an injury and didn't have the season that he had. So congratulations to him for being able to return to the game, to the team, to the school that he loved. And like he said, to run it back again. So congratulations to him. Tiger Nation, we're glad to have him back. So welcome back, JD. I almost said DJ.
Don't you do it.
So,
my bad, man. My bad.
So congratulations for that young man being able to return from the injury that he had, and the fact that he came back probably earlier than he wanted to, so he can help his team out. He's a great team player. I'm glad to see that he's back, and I'm looking forward to see what he and the rest of that backfield do in 2024. So welcome back and congratulations to JD Martin coming back for another year as a JSU Tiger.
Yeah, I won't be long about it. I actually commented on his post and told him, man, you know, I'm excited, get healthy, and let's run it back. Let's take this thing all the way in 2024, man. So exciting news. That's one less player we have to worry about leaving the door. So on to the next thing. Big news for the women's soccer team. You know, we fell short in the SWAC championship to Grambling this year. So what does Coach Ted Flagatis does? He goes out and he gets to recruit. We want to welcome Miss Valentina Goodlow. And as she stated on her IG page, she said, with a lot of thinking and praying, I've decided to continue my soccer career at Jackson State University. I give all glory to God for helping me make it this far. I want to say she's from California. That I do know. He does a really good job of recruiting the West Coast, and we want to just welcome Valentina. I'm not sure if she's watching, but you never can tell. Somebody find out that she was mentioned, and we just wanted to shout her out and show some love to her and welcome her to the Tiger family as well. So let's move right along.
Welcome.
Hey man, this is big news right here. So the Division I ranking as of November 20th, which 2 days ago, Jack State ranked number 1. They got it right, man. So they're going to be competing for this brand new inaugural Band of the Year HBCU National Championship, Band Championship. It's going to be Friday the 15th. The 15th right before the actual Celebration Bowl in Atlanta. So if you're going to be in the Atlanta area, the Boom is coming to take over. Y'all know, I don't know, somebody said maybe the rankings were where they were because of, they want to sell tickets. But I'm like, no, man, this is the Boom's year, man. The Boom is crazy good this year.
Undefeated. And I'm talking about putting every band over their knee and spanking them, dog.
That's right. Oh, we got E6 in this thing. We loading up and getting ready, getting right back at it. The goal hasn't changed. Go Tigers. That's what I'm talking about, man. Appreciate that brother right there, man. Been an amazing ambassador of this channel. You have been a great supporter, and we've been happy to support you too, brother. So thank you for coming on and letting them know what it is, big dog. Thoughts on the Boom before we move right along?
Hey, man, we haven't even talked about that. I'm just gonna go and say it. We hadn't even talked about that ass whooping we put up last Sunday. I mean, I'd be remiss if I ain't mentioned.
We touched on it a little bit though. They know what happened. We whooped them in the football game. We whooped them in the band battle twice, and then their coach got fired. But we leave them alone for right now. But TD, you got anything on the Boom?
No, not much, man. Just go rock the house. We already know who the number 1 band and the baddest band in the land is.
Hey, without question, baby. Without question. Shout out to all the Boom alums in the chat, man. Shout out to brother Ephraim, brother Carl Cunningham, and the list goes on, man. Absolutely beautiful message on X. That's why we love you. That's absolutely right. Moving right along. Hey, Puerto Rico. We got our girls have made it to San Juan, Puerto Rico, man. I wish I could be out there with y'all. Oh, my goodness.
Man, who you telling?
Oh, I wish I could be out there with y'all, man. So they made it to Puerto Rico on today, or was it yesterday, I think?
No, they got there
yesterday.
Monday. They got there early Tuesday morning.
Yeah, that's what I said yesterday. They went straight after the game versus Southeastern Louisiana. Looking good out there, man. They already living it up, having a good old time. Y'all do realize tomorrow now, the kickoff time is going to be 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. And it's going to be on, I think it's a sports app. It's an app that's on the site. We'll get Tiger Talk to put that, make sure we have that out. It's called The Zone, I think. I think you have to buy it, man. It's like a monthly subscription almost. You almost got to buy it. Somebody gonna have to buy it and share the login or something, man. We gotta be able to watch this game. So but yeah, man, they play. It's all of the times on this slide right here are East Coast time. So they're gonna be playing 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They're gonna be playing on Friday. They got the late game, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on
And this
Friday.
is a big game tomorrow too.
Yeah, so while we're doing the live on Friday, they're actually going to come on at 8 p.m. So they'll be on at during that time, and then they'll come on actually before the live. I'm sorry, and then Saturday they'll come on again at 8 p.m. against St. John. So we definitely going to be rooting for our ladies. We expect to get some dubs, man. We're not going out there just for a trip. We're going out there to handle business, man. So the business is what it is. We're 3-0 right now, and I know Coach Reed. You know she got them in early to get them situated, and then now they probably put that work in today because they're gonna go handle business tomorrow, man.
We got 3 games. We're looking to go 1-0. Obviously, we're not. We're in a position where we look ahead, but 3 games. And I'm telling y'all, we want to win them all. But if Lord say the same, if we go 2-1 in this tournament, I'm telling y'all, we're gonna make some noise in this non-conference schedule.
Yeah, I think we can get. I think we're gonna get UPRM and St. John's. That's just my opinion. Now UCF, I haven't seen them, but they're gonna be tough. But
they're undefeated.
I want all 3 of them,
and they're undefeated.
Oh, they are. Okay, yeah, that was gonna be tough.
That's why I said we're both 3-0.
That is right. Shout out to while we at it, congratulations, Jalen Baldwin got Dalen Baldwin. Dalen, not Jalen. Jalen is Dalen Baldwin. All good though. Thank you, Elo. Elo is but it's Dalen just signed with the Minnesota Vikings. TD, anything on the ladies in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, briefly, man. First of all, I would like to say congratulations, to the Lady Tigers for being able to make the trip. In the fact that we have HBCU playing in Puerto Rico, they just show you the range and stuff that we developing as a school. So I wish them much luck. I know they're gonna go and give their all and give their best, and leave it all on the court. And like you said, man, we're expecting a win from all 3 games. And if not, man, put up a very, very valid effort in the fight and let them know that they was in the fight. So go Lady Tigers.
Very well said, brother. And speaking of the Lady Tigers, man, we got to expand this thing. We ain't just stopping there. Coach Tamika Reed named her captains this week, man. She named her captains for the team, and we wanted to make sure we highlight the captains. So we want to send a congratulations to Miss Jalea Hickman, Miss Madison Rochelle, Miss Kashana Luckett, and Miss Haley Breland, 4 captains this season. And I really first of all, I like the uniform because that's dope. That's first and foremost. And then second of all, I love that they're highlighting the captains so everyone knows who's and the JSU women's media team has been doing a phenomenal job recently, man, just with the content and with the edits and with the information that they've been putting out on the page. So if you're not following them on IG or Twitter or whatever sites that they have, please go do so, man. So captains, I'll let you guys start here. We'll start with Kashana Luckett and Jalea Hickman, 2 Mississippi young ladies. And want to touch on those?
I'm just stating that, again, Luckett is straight out of Jacktown. Went to that 833rd.
833.
And, back for a last year of eligibility, man. And didn't have as well as a good year as last year, but I think really wanted to go out with a bang. One thing I can say about Luckett, man, she's a tenacious defender. And she plays with heart, plays with a lot of heart, man. She's tough as nails. And even Hickman coming in from Newton County, which is a strong women's program in the state of Mississippi. And great player, man. Great player. Looking to rebound and have an even great this year as well.
Yeah, man. Kashana, I know she played for, if she played at 833, she played for Mr. Jonas James, man, who been one of the best lady coaches in metro area for years. He's been to a lot of championships whenever, so I know she come from good stock, being on his tutelage, at Lanier. And now she over with Coach Reed. And the fact that we know how Coach Reed in her staff lead, and the fact that she chose these young ladies to head her team to be captains, it just goes to show that they must have great character, personality, and hard work, because you can only be in their position by leading by example. So apparently they're doing what they have to do on and off the court to be chosen their captain by Coach Reed and her staff. So congratulations to them, and we want to see the leadership on the court as well.
Yeah, Luckett is off to a really good start this season. I was glad to see her return after losing Gerard Covington. It was great to have that surefire ball handler back, like you guys both have said. Just tough nose, Jackson City young lady and city kid, man. So it was great to have her. And somebody stated said Jalea and I graduated from the same high school. Oh yeah, absolutely. Say, hey, Zoe, where Jonas from? Vicksburg, obviously, if Avis is asking.
Yeah.
Hey, if Avis say anything, he asks where anybody from.
Hey,
you know, Vicksburg.
He a high school basketball coach, Lanier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the lady basketball.
Who got more rings, Jonas at Lanier or the coach at Callaway?
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
We know Lanier. Vicksburg too.
Hey, we gonna round it off with but this is Kashana Luckett's last year, but then Hickman's a junior. But then you move over to your youth. We got Haley Breland, sophomore from Wiggins, Mississippi, and Madison Rochelle, who actually transferred in this year with us. I had the pleasure of meeting her while we were she was out on a recruiting visit, and it was really cool. Kind of walked up on them, and they let the coaches introduce me to her. You see the tears in their eyes, man, with the parents, and it was an emotional moment. And you got to love that, man, because Coach Tamika Reed and her staff have just created a phenomenal program. And she transferred in and has been playing really good from Cincinnati, Ohio. So for her to come in and to be a captain first year in is pretty dope, man. It speaks to, like you said, TD. It obviously must speak to the character and to something that we can't see, because the coaches are the ones that make these determinations. And it's always cool to see that, because it makes us do the investigation and say, man, it's pretty cool. I wonder what it is about this young lady. So when we do get an interview, these are the types of questions that we'll be having for Coach Tamika Reed and her staff when we actually get a chance to talk to them. So anything on Miss Haley Breland and Madison Rochelle before we move on?
Most definitely. So since Coach Reed has been at Jackson State, Haley Breland is the first sophomore to be named a team captain. So
interesting.
That right there alone tell you something. And again, most of the time, what position on the basketball team is the extension of the coach, kid?
Point guard.
All right, there you go. She's a sophomore point guard. That tells you something about how Coach Reed feels about Haley Breland. She's showing something in practice, not even further than just the leadership standpoint, Ken. She's showing something. And again, I think this shows you where we're headed to where we're going to be with regards to running and quarterbacking the team going forward. This is huge, whether it's men or women basketball, to have a sophomore being named the team captain. Also, you mentioned Madison Rochelle coming in from Cincinnati, Ohio. As you stated, Ken, again, show something to be in your first year to be named the captain. It says a lot. And it's deeper than just, respect of the team and showing leadership. It's showing some other things in practice as well. And I will go so far to say that Coach Reed probably feel like these are some dogs that can lead, that she could depend on to be an extension of her on that floor. So kudos to both of these young ladies.
Great stuff.
Yeah, well, I basically say the same. I mean, the same applies to what I say about the other two young ladies. I can't elaborate on that too much about their play and completely about their leadership. I'll be able to speak more on this toward the end of January. I gotta see some play on the court, but
that's good stuff, bro. Let's move on then. Let's get to the next one. Players of the week. We're going over to the men's team, man. Mr. Ken Evans Jr. That boy has been balling. Now, I must say, that game versus who did that we played against that he was struggling? Was that Tulsa?
No, I thought it was San Diego.
No. He had 1 point.
I think it was Tulsa.
It was some team that we played, and he couldn't get it in. He couldn't buy a basket, but he rebounded back 22 points. And Chase Adams. So Ken Evans was the player of the week, and Chase Adams was the impact player of the week for hitting that go-ahead buzzer beater. Well, not buzzer beater, go-ahead game-winning shot to beat Missouri, and pretty good stuff, man. So Ken Evans over the past. Man, what is this? This is so over the past week. I think this is a total of 3 games. Yeah, this is 3 games because check this out, y'all. He had. Let me see if my math can. Did he have 20 or did he have 22?
22.
Anyway, he had 22. Okay. The game that he had 33 was against who? Loyola Marymount?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting. Well, I think their math is off then, because if he only had 1 point, then 33 is 34, then plus 20 should be 56. But anyway, that's why I paused. 56 points, 12 rebounds, 6 steals, 9 assists. Chase Adams, 15 points, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, 8 assists. But the impact is there, man. We get our first win against Missouri. It's really good to see them get recognized by the SWAC. So I'll stop right there and let you guys jump in and comment before we move on.
Go ahead, TD.
Yeah, man. And I can speak a little bit on Ken Evans. I know he wasn't much of a starter last year, but he did get a lot of PT. And I did like what I saw from his game. He liked the 3 ball, but he will take it on the inside. So he has heart. Like to see it be a little more pure on the shot, not forced, not pushed. But he is a pretty good player. And like I said, when I saw him last year, he held his own pretty good. Chase Adams, he always put me in the mind of my little guy Spud, man. I like his game. I like his aggressiveness. He will take it to the hole. However, I like to say, look, man, sometimes when you go to a hole and you run into a guy 6'9", bro, you might want to kick that thing out. But yeah, man, he'll try to lay it in on you. He'll take it to the hole. He showed leadership. So I'm excited to see what those guys do for the rest of the season. Coach Morton and his staff are doing a wonderful job in developing these players and recruiting to add to, these gentlemen who was already on the team last year. So congratulations to them for their recognition. They deserve it. I hope they continue to play hard and receive more accolades as the season progresses. That means that we're winning.
Absolutely, man. Before you go, Zoe, I want to recognize Miss Melinda. Welcome to the channel, man. Thank you for your channel membership. We appreciate all of our channel members and the supporters that continue to bless us with memberships and donations and support, man. It just helps continue to keep this thing rocking and rolling, man. Like I said, it's a labor of love, and a lot of time, energy, effort, money goes into what we do, and every dollar is appreciated. So thank you so much for becoming a channel member. If there's anyone that's watching that's not a member that would like to join, you can be a bronze. It doesn't matter if it's bronze, silver, gold, or platinum. If you do become a platinum member, we do have a platinum chat that pretty much platinum insider chat. Get a lot more information. You get all exclusive content before everyone else does, and even some intel that we don't give on the actual show. So if you do become a platinum member, shoot us an email, KC-1400 media group @gmail.com, and we'll add you to the chat. But thank you, Miss Melinda, and welcome to the channel as a member. Zoe, what you got for me?
To the channel.
I was just gonna say, man, yeah, it was that game against Missouri, man. He went unconscious for a minute, and the team, we had good scoring around a few of the guys, but he was the catalyst. He was the lead dog in that game, and also Chase, man. We all saw the game winner, but Chase was the good floor general again, and we're talking about 17 assists between the two of them. You know what I'm saying, for that week, but Chase was a good floor general this particular game against Missouri. So I know that's what we all want to end with, but I've got to echo the Missouri head coach quote. He stated before the game, I'm telling you guys, Jackson State is the best 0-5 team in the country. After the game, he gave Jackson State all the kudos they could stand in this some, and he said specifically, I'm telling you, Jackson State is an NCAA tournament team. When you look at the roster makeup and you look at what they have and the athletes that they have, and you also mentioned that we were down a player because he was well aware of Deshaun Ruffin. And you said, I'm letting you guys know this is an NCAA tournament team. This is not some, oh, they're a mid-major. They just happen to get a check. And, which we mentioned to you guys, we got $100,000 for this game.
That's huge.
This game alone was $100,000 game.
That's big time.
And we're up there, man. We got a check in doing so. And come back home, and we next game is up Friday. Who do we play, Ken?
We played Georgetown.
Georgetown Hoyas this Friday. So another good chance to slay another giant and to get our name out there. And again, to be 2-5 in the non-conference slate against who we're playing. It's gonna be hard to break even, but if we can go on a little streak here and go end up 5-5, that's a win. Because typically most HBCUs going over for non-conference or win one game against an inferior opponent. And we just get a 5 program.
As I want to ask you, man, on this team, who do you see as the leading shooter? Who do you see as the pure shooter? Who do you see as being clutch?
I mean, shooting right now, well, it's very guys can shoot. Evans can shoot, but he's streaky. Chase is a knockdown shooter. It's a matter of him getting more shots up. He's the point guard. Lord knows if he was healthy, I'm going to say Deshaun in a heartbeat. But we got several guys that can stroke it. Now, I'm about to say even Coach Young. And me and Kid talked about it on Monday, of the fact of him not standing around and just waiting to take 3-point shots. He actually got inside the paint this game and made his presence felt, in the lane. But to answer your question, Coach Young, Ken Evans, Chase Adams, and I would add a Deshaun Ruffin as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I like to hang my hat. Well, I ain't gonna say hang my hat on, but that's one of the racks I like to put my hat on, because a lot of time when games get tough, get in the clutch, they people start running the full court press, and then you have a big the middle is crowded. You need someone if Chase drive to the hole, that he can kick it out, and you can stand up with your arm already raised, know that it's going in. So I'm looking for that player. That's when I asked the question.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff, man. Moving right along. Next up with men's basketball. See who we got next, man. I wanted to mention this. He said Ken Evans Jr. is from Jackson, Mississippi, and is the son of a pair of Jackson State graduates. He's led JSU in scoring in 2022, 2023. And he's tops on the team again this season with 18 per contest. He scored 22 in the Tigers' most recent 73-72 upset over Tigers from the SEC. Huge victory at Missouri from Mo Williams, who was who's in his second season at the helm. This is from the coach's corner with James Wilhelmi. I think that's his name. But anyway, thoughts on Ken Evans? We just touched on it, but it's pretty cool from the coach's corner. Just talked about the scouting of Ken Evans, who's playing at probably his best basketball of his career thus far.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we actually got a commitment today from another Cali kid, man. Inglewood, always up to no good. got Inglewood in the house, man. So we actually this young man is a wing player, and I really do like what he brings to the table. I actually had a video of some of his highlights, man. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to check him out, but he's matter of fact, let me just add it this way, because I tried to do it and so we can play it and still be on the screen, but I'll play the highlights here in just a second, and then you guys can actually check it out. One second. I actually had him up there, man, and I deleted him because I thought I was going to put him up here a different way. Just didn't come through for me. So have you guys had a chance to check him out?
I hadn't.
Okay. Video loading up. I'm gonna wait on this, but 6'7", I think it's 6'7", 6'8". Let me turn this down. There we go. So yeah, 6'7", 6'8" kid, very rangy. I think he was at the game, man, that I remember seeing this kid. This is what's so strange about it. I went to go to the concession stands. We was at Loyola Marymount, and he was actually outside talking to Romello Mansell's family, who was in line behind me. And one of the gentlemen, I remember this young man, and I think she either it was him or it was another gentleman that looked just like him, man. He said he played for East LA. East LA is a junior college, for those that don't know, out of Inglewood. So really good athletic kid. You could tell when I play this video, you guys are gonna really be able to see the type of players that Mo like when it comes to the bigs. So he's 6'7". He's anywhere from, well, is he 6'7" to 6'9"? Somebody say 6'9"? We're gonna say 6'9" then.
9.
Yeah, that's right. It's 6. He's 6'9". I'm sorry. I looked at that wrong. You're right. Absolutely right. 6'9". My mistake.
But on the wing though.
No, he's in the inside. I'm gonna show you. We're gonna look at his film. I got about we'll let it play now. Nice putback. I mean, he play above the rim. You guys can unmute your you can unmute your mics if you want to speak to it, because this one don't have any volume to it. I mean, he kind of got he's like an athletic, like a slimmer athletic Zeke to me.
Has a high got a high motor though.
Yeah, he does.
High energy player, high motor.
Typical player that Mo's like, man. He plays mostly inside. Doesn't look like a shooter, but he's definitely an athlete. Super athletic, man. He can go get rebounds galore. You see, kick him up top. Yeah, I love that, man. Long, rangy kid with mad athleticism. Let me get that back. There we go. Put it on the paint. Go score. When he get the ball, man, he goes pretty quickly with the ball. Yep, got good touch on the inside. I do like that he double jumps with those players that hey. Pretty good rebounder. Give me that.
Hey,
that out of there. So yeah, man. Welcome to Marlon Harris, man, from Inglewood, California, man. Inglewood always up to no good. Want to welcome into the fold, man. Committed today. Coach Mo was on the recruiting trail while he was out here in Cali. So he he wasn't just out here just playing, collecting checks. He was playing ball and recruiting. So we was able to get another Cali kid, man. So gotta love that, man. He's a quick jumper. That's right, Mario. Quick. So one thing I love about double jumpers, you know who he remind me of? I'm gonna name a player. Y'all remember Jamel Jackson. Remember Jamel? Played with Ashley. Jamel played like that. He played very quick jumper, man. By the time his feet hit the ground, he was back off the ground again. TD, quick jumper, quick second jump. And if he missed it, he was back. It's just those are the high motor, super athletic young men that that's right. Elo, we Cali in the house. He does play. He plays for West LA.
You remind me of like a Tyrus Thomas.
That's a great point, Zoe. That's a good point. Damn good point. Tyrus Thomas is a really good comp. If you look at, I played against Tyrus. I played ball with Tyrus, man, over in Austin, man. At Ultimate Hoops. Not Ultimate Hoops. He was gonna play in the Ultimate Hoops League. He didn't play, but he played in the pickup game. So great point, man. Welcome, Marlon Harris from Inglewood to Jack State, man. Excited about the commitment. looking forward to seeing what he can do next year. Anybody got any thoughts before we move on?
No, just like to welcome him to the team. You know, hope he do well. Hope he fare well. You know, Coach Mo able to coach Bill the way that they like. So hope Coach Mo grab his players and bring them on in and do his thing. But you know what, Ken?
What's that?
I can't confirm the accuracy of this, but while he was out there, he should went on holler at his boy LeBron, so he can get one of them James boys on the team too.
Boy, let me tell you something, boy. If you get it, hey, Bronny already, you know, Bronny gonna enter the league whether his heart good or bad next season. I think he's about ready to be cleared. But yeah, he'll be in the league next year. And then Bryce that dude though. I'm telling you that right now. Bryce that dude. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get Bryce, but it would be nice. I think Bryce gonna go to Ohio State, in my honest opinion, but we'll see.
Well, anyway. What y'all basketball players always say, shoot or shoot.
That is.
Shoot your shot, man.
Hey, look, as we move into the last few legs of the slide, we done with the sports. I'm gonna go ahead and drop that link, man. I had to go ahead and start here, man, because this is, hey man, y'all know Marshall Ramsey. For those that don't know, this dude has been a cartoonist and has been very, very, very he don't miss, man. Marshall don't miss. And he put we can get into the university president situation. When the president was named and announced, this is the photo that Marshall painted. I mean, this is what he drew up. And it says, "Do you work for the IHL? Yes. Star, if yes, congratulations." I was like, wow, that's pretty comical. Yet at the same time, they kind of spoke to the process and kind of how most people felt. So he was able to capsulize the feelings of the majority of the alums that were kind of in the dark on the situation in the process and thinking, you know, whatever. And all of a sudden, this is what happened. So Jackson State names his 13th president. We want to welcome JSU welcomes Marcus L. Thompson, PhD, as the 13th president of our STEAM university. A little bit about Marcus. Let's see. Dr. Marcus has more than 20 years of leadership experience in early childhood, K-12 education, and higher education. He serves as the Deputy Commissioner and Chief Administrative Officer of the Mississippi Institution of Higher Learning, IHL, Mississippi's public university system. Where for over a decade, he has been responsible for overseeing IHL staff. In this role, all senior level leaders report to him, and he manages all facets of day-to-day operations of the agency, including IHL board relations, communications, legislation, technology, data management, and facilities. Last thing on the last slide of the day, words from Dr. Marcus L. Thompson. I'm sorry, I want to make sure I get the name right. Marcus L. Thompson. Dr. Marcus L. Thompson. Very honored to be named president of Jackson State University because I believe in its mission, purpose, and most of all, the outstanding faculty, staff, alumni, and students who embody our school's motto of challenging minds, changing lives. I look forward to working closely with all of them to develop a consensus about strategic goals and objectives we can achieve by working together. That's the last slide of the day. Let's jump into this, man. And we do not plan on talking about this just ourselves. So the link is open. As I stated on the Twitter post today, I want everybody to come up that got their tidbits to add on this. 85, come on up, man. You know I've been waiting on you. C. Lee, come on up now. Brother Jerome, come on up now. Y'all come on out. All y'all come on. Vic, come on up. Let's talk about it. Let's get it on out. Let's go and get it out now. But I'll say this. I have my thoughts about it. It just seemed like the process was kind of circumvented a little bit. Like we don't really know what the process is. Felt like we kind of went through the motions. Said, where is he from? I want to say Jackson. Yeah, I gotta Google him because I don't really know him, so I can't say your name. I got it right here. Well, he went to Jackson State. That we do know. For his PhD. Let me see if I can't find it up in here. So it says he's a former educator and administrator serving private schools and public schools in the Jackson Public School District and the Copiah County School District, where he enjoyed and excelled at one-on-one student interactions the classroom provided. He has held endorsements to teach elementary school and licenses to teach English, history, mathematics, and Spanish. He ultimately left the classroom and joined the Mississippi Department of Education, MDE, to have a broader impact on students across the state. At MDE, he became chief of staff and assistant to the state superintendent of education. Statement from the president of the JSU National Alumni Association, Ms. Patrice Edwards. We are appreciative of the time and energy the IHL board and search committee put into the presidential search. The JSU National Alumni Association will support Dr. Thompson and his administration. We are hopeful that he will be a capable administrator with the ability to bring stakeholders together to achieve common goals. His leadership and vision to secure resources for philanthropic support and business partnerships with JSU will be key, and a catalyst for the growth and continued success of the university. So that's pretty much what I got. So the 85. What's up, brother? Can't hear you if you're talking, Doc. Can't hear you. You might have to come out and come back in, bro. So I don't know if your mic picked up, but anybody, TD, you want to
go? Not really. I mean, I don't have much on it, man. Just I don't have much for it. I'm just hopefully, you know, since they selected him. I mean, I heard things that other people had to say as far as qualifications and candidates and lack of or probably what should have, but you know, that's who was chosen. So I just wish he just take his time, make sure that he evaluate the school and the situation the school needs, take the school and the students into his best interests and help the school grow, you know, whatever facet that, you know, that he can. Hope he has the school best interest in heart.
So, you're on mute, bro.
First and foremost, state of Mississippi don't give a damn about Jackson State. And this move actually further proves it. I did want to address something because I did see, you know, where, you know, a comment was made about inexperience, right? And the comparison was made about Coach Prime. Like, if we could take in Coach Prime who didn't have experience, we need to be proud in this subject. That's horseshit. Coach Prime is a football novice. He played football, you know, and was around the game all day long in every capacity, as well as had coaching experience. This dude has no experience in what he's going up to. So, and again, I'm not about somebody being inexperienced getting an opportunity, because this isn't what this is. Don't sit here and tell me that you're going to have a nationwide search to only go ahead and connect your inexperienced homeboy who work for your job, who's attached to somebody else. You know, this is not the help. You're not about to give me a shit pie and think it's some other type of fruit. Like, that's what this is. You miss me with that, man. And again, and this is much of the same. Go look at the IHL track record for the past 4 presidents they got. Just look at it.
Yep.
It's horseshit at best. And I'm sorry. And look, I'm gonna call Cap. I don't give a damn if that's your partner or that's somebody y'all cool with. Oh, give them a chance. That's horseshit. And again, I'm not against somebody being inexperienced getting a job. But I tell you one thing, we see here and we transition from a guy who otherwise wouldn't have got the position. And then you sit there and you go with the idea of to follow up one inexperienced, never been a college president before. You follow him up with one who has even less credentials to be a president. That's not setting the school up for success. And again, why for the life of us can we? What's the purpose of us even having a school board, and you don't even take the recommendation of what the school board who views that is best for their institution? And these are all the same damn people who love to tell all you color people, pick yourself up by your damn bootstraps. The funny thing about their statement is they want you to pick yourselves up by your bootstraps, but pull your goddamn shoestrings out of the sons of bitches.
End it up, bro.
So the thing that kills me is like, this is ridiculous, bro. Ridiculous. Why can't we have a legit panel of qualified applicants? We actually interview them, go through them, and actually get the best person for Jackson State. Because you're not going to sit here and tell me we're going to go with the inexperienced president who happens to lose his job and then follow that up with another inexperienced person who has even less credentials than the previous guy that just left. Oh, but he just so happened to have worked side by side with us for the past few years. Like he hasn't been in a college in any capacity. And you're going to make him president. Make that make sense.
85, what you got, brother?
How y'all doing tonight?
Man, I've been good, man. Necessary conversation, man. I hope everybody join in on, because this is something that needs to be discussed. And we ain't running from it. We just didn't want to muddy it up with everybody worrying about the Jackson State Alcorn game. And now, right before Thanksgiving, we're gonna get into it, and then we'll leave it alone. But go ahead, and then, hey, brother C. Lee, appreciate you for joining us.
Yeah, I've been trying to ever since last week. I've been trying to just like think about like how I wanted to approach this conversation, because the Thursday before the Alcorn game, I was, like most of you, I was utterly disgusted with the whole process, because there was an established process put in place to go through. You had the search committee. You had over 70 applicants to apply. Based on the media reports, you got down to 3 finalists from what was told in the media. And then all of a sudden, out of the three,
do we know who those 3 finalists were?
Publicly, no. Off the record, yes. And we kind of discussed that in non-public forums, but never Platinum Chat exclusive. But nevertheless, there was still an established process, and you went through an interview process, and you had candidates that were finalists in that particular process. Now, from my perspective, before I kind of go down that rabbit hole, one of the things that I want us all to kind of challenge ourselves, especially during this time of the year, getting ready to wrap up the year, is it's 50,000 of us from an alumni perspective, plus our loyal fans. So you can say between 50 and 100,000 people that really hold true to the values of Jackson State University. And we're going to continue to shoot for excellence. We're going to continue to demand accountability from inside the house and outside the house. And we have to understand that there are a lot of great things that are going on at Jackson State. There are a lot of great things going on with our alums, our fans, our supporters, our students, our student athletes. And I'll be damned if we're going to let some BS processes that are kind of, from my theory, done by a very small group of people get in the way of the progress that we've established. Now, this is a new day, and this is messages for whoever wants to get it. And you can go run and tell them I said it. But we see what you're doing behind the scenes. We see what you're doing, and we're gonna call you out on it. Now, I'm not gonna say any names tonight. I'm not gonna drop anything, because a lot of this stuff you get into the who said what, who did what. But if it's enough smoke, there's fire somewhere. So we putting everybody on notice. And I'll be damned if we're gonna let our standards drop because a few people just can't get their way in a particular process. But I ain't gonna touch too much on that, because I know this is a public forum. I want to be respectful of your platform. But at the same time,
I want you to let it rip. Honestly,
okay.
Because I'll say it if you don't want to say it, because I ain't holding back. I'm not gonna cuss about it.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think the truth need to be. I think the truth needs to be expressed if it's available, or else nothing would ever get done. Because I think I ain't mean to cut you off, bro.
No,
I
you
know
good.
Jerome came on here a little while ago, asked him who he felt was the best candidate, and it was he mentioned G. Johnson. I know G was that name came up quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
well, and like I say, you know, let's just explore theory. You know, if she was one of the ones that was kind of talked about and was definitely maybe on a short list, who knows? But at the same time, do you think that, you know, it was very funny that an article about the foundation, because she's the president of the foundation, she's very accomplished lady,
that whole
boss
article
lady,
was intentional.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'll say it. The article that came out talking about the foundation, the timing of it, because somebody had bad intentions to shine a negative light on a candidate who was very qualified and who was really the preferred candidate. I just thought the timing was real funny. And you know what's a shame about that is you still didn't get your way. You still didn't get it. And all you did was sit on the process and allow them to do exactly what it is that they do. And once again, we get in our own way and we give them the green light to screw us over because we get addicted to power. We get addicted to wanting to stay in certain positions. And I'm gonna just tell y'all like this right here. I ain't looking for no new friends. I don't care. So the truth is the truth. Truth don't need no support. Here we go. Come on. Now we singing. And for all you local alums, all you alums who had a part to play in that, shame on you. Shame on you for allowing yourself to be used like that.
Oh my God.
To screw up the process because y'all was too afraid that somebody was gonna come in and light that something on fire. Because that's what we really needed. I told Jerome when he came up here, Jack State needed a hard reset. We don't need a puppet. We don't need some you know, the puppet is somebody that's controlled from the outside. We don't need that. We don't need that because you're so afraid of getting kicked in the butt to tell you to get off your butt. You know what I'm saying? You know, I shut up for a second. I'm gonna be quiet for a minute. Come on. We getting cooking now.
Yeah. Appreciate it, brother John. We definitely getting cooking, man. Look, let's go and warm this grease up then.
Hey, speaking of merch pack, I need a logo that say golden fish. I need a golden fish logo. We're gonna talk about that. FTD.
Yeah,
brother CD, welcome.
Hey, how y'all doing? Can y'all hear me?
Oh yeah.
So I want to say two things. The first thing is I've said this before, and I wrote about it. Every university has 5 stakeholders, and I'm saying this because I'm gonna ask you in your stakeholder. I'm gonna mention everybody that I mentioned. You're gonna be in one of these stakeholders. So the 5 stakeholders of every university: faculty, staff, students, alumni, community. Whenever there is a hiring of a president, those 5 stakeholders for every university, except HBCUs, are always considered. Now, here's why I'm mentioning this. 2 of the stakeholders, so 2 groups, approach the 3rd group, and this is not something I'm getting hearsay on. I know this happened.
Okay.
2 of the groups, 2 of the stakeholders, approached the 3rd stakeholder and said, let's the 3 of us get together and do a joint letter about the process. And the leader of one of the stakeholders basically said, we can't do that. Now, if you're in the chat, or if you're watching this, very simple way to figure out how it happened. You are a member of the faculty stakeholder, you go to the faculty senate president. You're a member of the staff stakeholders, you go to staff senate president. You're a member of the student stakeholders, you can go to the SGA president. You're a member of the alumni association, You go to alumni president. The only one that really came because the communities kind of grab all. We kind of appoint people community, and we try to find people. And when we say community is not necessarily people who are not in needs, but it's people who live in the general facility of the university. So that's the community. So what you have to ask yourself is, what were the two stakeholders who approached the third stakeholder? And why did that third stakeholder refuse to join those other two in writing a joint letter? And again, whatever those groups, just ask your president and say, hey, were you approached or did you approach? Because as long as those five stakeholders can't get together, we already know we don't have a vote. We already know that we can't remove the governor. And so since we can't remove the governor, we can't change the makeup of IHL.
Right.
As such, the five stakeholders working collectively is really at this point the only leverage that we have. And it was just very disheartening to know that one of the stakeholders essentially, and to get specific about it, the excuse that the stakeholder said was, and this is how everybody will know this is BS, said, well, I got to check with my people to do that. That's a 1.5 day check. That is you go to the offices of your board and say, hey, I've been approached by two stakeholders. They want us to come together. You do a Zoom or you do a video or you do an email chat. Y'all vote on it. And a day later, you can join with those two stakeholders. So saying I need to check with my folks and we can't get together is not an excuse. Now, so that's the first thing. The second thing is I was talking to someone that I know, someone mentioned me, we were talking about this issue. Has anybody ever heard of the concept legitimacy theory? So legitimacy theory is essentially, how do we decide if a leader is legitimate? Now, watch this. One of the ways that the European countries and America have been able to keep the entire continent of Africa in chaos is because what they do is they appoint presidents of African nations that are not wanted by the people. Therefore, the people see those appointed presidents as illegitimate. Everybody with me so far? Here's the problem, and here's how this relates to Jackson State. The question isn't even whether or not our new president is a good president.
Right.
The question is, we don't know.
That's right.
And because we don't know, then there's a legitimacy issue. This question is not whether or not he's a good person. The question is not whether or not he has a good heart. The question is not any of that. The question is, how can we say he's legit? And so what happens is, here's what it does. It does him a disservice. And I think IHL knows this. It does him a disservice because if there was 70, and I heard 79, if there was 79 applicants and we didn't see the other 78, how do we know he was the best one? So he walks in with a legitimacy issue. And I want to be clear with what I'm saying. I'm not saying that people should mistrust him. I'm not saying that he's a bad choice. I'm saying that because of the way the process works, he's going to have to spend the first 8 months. And for y'all don't know, 8 months as a university president is a long time. He's going to have to spend 8 months just convincing people that he's qualified for the job. And when you're running a company, I don't care what the company is, nobody has 8 months to convince you to do the damn job I need you to do.
Right.
So just because we had a flawed process. Now, here's the third element. And I don't know, and I'm putting this up. I want you four people in the chat to tell me, because I don't know if this is a bad or a good thing. But from just understanding the room, like I said, read the room and talking to people. Here's the third thing that's really interesting. The morale of most people on campus They're just tired.
They are.
They're just tired. And so it's going to be a question of, will the first 8 months he get no pushback because he's doing a good job, or he doesn't get any pushback because they're just tired? And sometimes when people are just tired, they'll take average, as long as average ain't terrible. But the problem is, when you're in business, average eventually becomes fall behind. So you have the legitimacy issue combined with people are just tired. And so the question becomes, are the people who are tired going to be able to meet whatever happens in the first 8 months in a way to really keep people's feet to the fire? So those are the three elements, and I'll stop there to see if anybody else wants to jump in. But those, I think, are the three like pressing issues for me, along with whatever. And I want to be clear, I agree with what everybody else has said.
Hey, brother Silly, I have a question.
Sure.
Because I'm trying to understand the whole process of what goes on with this. I hear some people saying that they want a puppet. They want, what would be the purpose of putting the puppet in for their, I mean, what would they gain by doing that, being that they are the one that choose who they want to lead the university anyway? What does a puppet do for them?
Two things. I go big and then I go small. It is still not completely off the table of the merging or downsizing of the public HBCUs. So if I get someone, if I can appoint the president of Jackson State, Alcorn, and Valley, who's not averse to, not opposed to, not going to fight against the merging of or the downsizing of, that's a win for IHL, that's a win for the state legislature. Secondly, even if I don't want to merge you, if I can just limit your growth so that I don't have to give money to you, and I can continue to funnel money that should go to you to the other white three, that's still a win for me, because I'm doing as minimal as possible for you, so I can do as much as possible for the schools that I think that should be in business. So those are the two major reasons. For instance, on the last IHL meeting they had before they announced, they were discussing the word just left my mind, but they were discussing the issue of, and I've been on this stream using the word, but essentially schools having the same program.
Oh, you're talking about course oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Was it proximity?
Proximity and redundancy.
Okay.
So yeah, so they use proximity to say, well, this HBCU program, this school shouldn't have a particular program. So they say, well, you close to USM, you close to such and such, didn't have a program.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you got a president that controls that TD, that they control, he's not going to fight to get that particular program. And when you don't have programs, you limit your growth. Dual programs, thank you. That's the word I mean. So they fight to make sure. So for instance, well, shoot, Jackson State has a program right now that's in its infancy, that's growing really well, that I know of firsthand, that if it continues to grow, it's going to grow from what it is now to something major, and we're going to have to fight IHL on getting proper funding, because they're going to argue that two other white programs already have it. And you need then a strong president. You need a strong president. And, let me give you another example. And this will tickle Brother Jerome because I haven't been the strongest Mason supporter. But one thing I've come in about doing programs, so the state has the Jackson Heart Study program, and the Jackson Heart Study program is essentially 3 tiers. Ole Miss has the actual research, Jackson State does the statistical data, and I work in the program in Tougaloo that does the high school training program. So those are 3 legs. Okay. The Jackson State component and the Tougaloo component was working so well that Ole Miss tried to take over the other 2 components. Essentially said, we don't need Jackson State and Tougaloo. We can do all these ourselves. Which was ironic because the program in which I work in the summer at Tougaloo, nobody wanted that one. And the one at Tougaloo, the one and I'm going to blow a 2-down horn, that actually has gotten rated higher than the one in Ole Miss and Jackson State. The one that nobody wanted, Tougaloo decided, well, we're going to take that one and the statistical branch. And Mason essentially said in a meeting, y'all act like we don't have PhDs to administer the program on our campus. So I give him kudos for that. And that's what I'm saying, TD. If you don't have a president that's not willing to be his own person, when IHL wants to make cuts and when IHL wants to deny you certain programs, your president will rubber stamp it rather than fighting for it, if that makes sense.
Brother Jerome, it does make sense. I'll let Jerome go. It's essential having a yes man in the house. You ain't gonna never have no resistance. If your leader don't give any resistance, then you basically susceptible to whatever they want to do. And that's the thing you don't want to deal with because it's much of the same. It's almost like, how do you guys fail us with 3 damn presidents and then you still turn around and getting what you want and you still get to basically do and control everything because we had them. This is what makes it so sad. We had them because they failed us 3 times in a row.
Yep.
So since we had them, and we basically could have came and been like, look, y'all screwed us over and we sick of this. And, and my question was to the point to where we should be. I know the lawsuit came out, in regards to the IHL from the young lady who felt like the hiring of Hudson was kind of botched or whatever. I feel like we should be doing the same thing. We should be suing IHL, the state of Mississippi, and all that good stuff, man, because it's like, at what point do you guys, are y'all going to listen to us? But I'll be quiet. Let Brother Jerome come on in and, add a little bit more heat to this grease we trying to fry up this golden fish TD. Like, let's keep going.
Hey, can I ask a question here? Before you proceed, I'm hearing what you guys saying before Brother Jerome go. So basically, I'm familiar with a puppet, and you have people infiltrating the system for whatever reason. Well, for control purposes. So it sounds like you guys are saying that you feel that the IHL don't want Jackson State to grow.
Oh, yeah. Look, TD.
Without question.
75%. Well, let me scroll back. 70% of what Jackson State is Dr. John A. Peoples. And Dr. John A. Peoples did that without any help from IHL whatsoever. Most of the times he was going behind their back. John A. Peoples say something he did to grow to make it more than just a teaching school. And there's nothing wrong with being a teaching school. We have one of the finest education schools in the country. But the reason we have other schools, the reason we have STEM, the reason we have business, and the other things is that Dr. Peoples would go out and get monies from elsewhere. And then there was a nunnery. That was a place where had nuns that had PhDs. And then Dr. Peoples went over. Because people remember in the late 60s, early 70s, Jackson State had a lot of nuns with PhDs on the campus. Well, those nuns with PhDs on the campus was because he couldn't get IHL to give him proper money to go out and hire the professors to extend. So he went over and said, oh, these nuns have PhDs, they can teach. And he basically cut a deal with the father and with them. I'm calling it a nunnery. It's actually something else where the nuns live. And had them come as a way to circumvent IHL, who wouldn't give him the line items to hire the professors that he needed to grow the school. So yes, IHL, Jackson State was always supposed to be just a Negro teaching college. That is all it was ever supposed to be. And shout out to Dr. John A. Peoples, the greatest president Jackson State ever had. 70% of what you see is Dr. John A. Peoples and his ability to not be a yes man. Now, I'll end it because I know Brother Jerome is going. And why is that important? Convict. Thank you, Sonny Boom. See you at 98. John A. Peoples was the only president technically chosen by stakeholders, but he wasn't chosen by stakeholders. He was actually chosen by Reddix. And Reddix was an accommodationist, so the IHL thought they were safe in letting Reddix choose the president. They just didn't understand that although Reddix was an accommodationist, Reddix had a plan for the future of the university, and he brought peoples in, mentored him, and allowed peoples to fly. That's the other thing that's missing, the mentorship, passing leadership, so that you have a seamless flow of ideas from leadership to leadership, which we never had. I set up. Brother Jerome.
Yes, sir. Hey, first of all, happy Thanksgiving, Jackson State family. I just want to kind of piggyback off a couple of things that Silly brought up. Number one, he's absolutely correct, as it pertains to John A. Peoples. And the one thing I love that Reddix did, Reddix had the wherewithal to identify John A. Peoples' brilliance while John A. Peoples was a professor in Illinois. And John A. Peoples had kind of a national prominence about himself around that time, at least among our JSU circles. And he brought him in from Illinois, brought him back to Jackson, and as he mentioned, of course, mentored him. It goes back to the conversation, Ken, and the panel that we had a couple of weeks back about how Jackson State, the brilliance and the success and the story of our institution has never been one of just local to the city or to Mississippi. Our brilliance has always been compounded and attributed to alums who either went outside of Mississippi or abroad globally and came back and brought those resources to the table. Also, not necessarily just alums, but people outside of Mississippi who had those skill sets and resources and relationships and brought them to the table to make Jackson State what it is today. Steely mentioned something with respect to President Peoples kind of going around the IHL. What that's called is having the ability to attain external funding and external resources. And if you don't have that skill set as a president or as a leader, you're doing the institution a huge disservice. And I say that because not only did John A. Peoples possess that, but we saw that, of course, with President Mason. That was my president of Jackson State. I got to take over for him for a little bit, but he did a phenomenal job of garnering several partnerships with Jackson State when some of these PWIs in Mississippi wanted no dealings with us in the early parts of his presidency. I can distinctly remember partnerships we've had with North Carolina A&T, with Howard, a couple of Ivy League schools at the time in the early 2000s, and we were really, really moving forward. Transitioning into Dr. Myers, someone externally who had the credentials, of course, got her master's and PhD from Georgia Tech, which was phenomenal because at that time that she got it, Georgia Tech was very much sexist and racist. And she did a phenomenal job at A&T within their engineering department. And she had tons of resources nationwide that she brought to the table. And every time we turned around, President Myers had various checks being presented to the institution. So it's that spirit of external funding and resources that has really propelled us over the last 40 or 50 years to where we are today. The last three presidents that we've had, well, I'll say the last two permanent presidents that we had, they didn't possess those skill sets, just being honest, nor did, of course, the acting president. One of the programs, and I'm not sure if Lee is making reference to this program, but over the last year, Jackson State partnered with the airport in Jackson as well as JPS. There's some type of a program to assist JPS students with getting training when it comes to aviation. And as we know, there's maybe like 2 HBCUs that have an aviation program. I believe it's Elizabeth City State and Texas Southern. If done correctly, we could clearly propel that kind of pilot program, no pun intended, into a fully accredited, solid aviation program at Jackson State. TD, having said all that, those are examples of why it's important not to necessarily have a quote unquote puppet at Jackson State, because of course that puppet can intentionally stifle the growth of the enrollment, the growth of research, and the growth of external funding and support. You guys did a phenomenal job of just discussing how disgusting that entire process was. It was gut-wrenching. It was even more gut-wrenching to hear details of what happened towards the finish line, knowing that we had a rock star at the table ready to take the mantle. And then we had some of our own. I use some pretty strong language on other platforms, so I'm not going to use it here. I'm going to respect Ken.
Man, you can use whatever. I'm gonna say it for you. Fuck, ass, shit, bitch.
Yes, like
motherfucker,
idiots.
whatever you want to say, let it out, man. I'm serious because I don't want y'all to be feeling like y'all stifled or whatever. Let me tell you why. This is the most serious conversation we could have.
Yep.
And the reason I say that is because without the university, there is no football. Without the university, there is no athletics. It is not athletic student. It's student athlete.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, like, I'm glad you said that because I thought it was just me. I saw Patrice at the tailgate, and I stopped her and I said, "Man, I felt sick, man. It felt like I got punched in the stomach, and it just my whole day was just seeming melancholy. You know what I mean? Because I was like, wow, I can't believe that they just did this to us. And then this is what I want people to understand, because here's what I know is happening. I don't know Marcus. I don't have to know him. And just because you know him doesn't mean that the points that are being made aren't applicable to how disgusting the process was. This is how we always screw ourselves. We always get personal because we know someone and we act like because you know him and this person was a good person and he's this, he's that. I really don't give a damn who he was, what I'm not really, before we even get to credentials, I'm already lost at process because the process was circumvented and it was basically, they played in our face, completely played in our face. And what they did was they used the fear against us from within our own circles, within our own space. We have those alums who may be watching, who cowered away from accountability. That's what happens. And you give the university. That's what the purpose. That's the proverbial sellout. When you sell out, I mean, I'm going to sell out and just give over. I'm going to give over my power. And we had the power. It fell in our hand when Hudson flamed out. That's why you have a lawsuit, which is extremely embarrassing on top of that, because they never disclosed why Hudson stepped down. That never came out. It was all hearsay. But guess what happens when IHL does something funky like what they did? And here we are in the situation that we're in, and this lawsuit comes out. The first page, the first paragraph, it details exactly what they knew was already out there. So you're telling me that this man had things that was out there that they knew about before they even made him the permanent president. And those very same things that were out there are the things that turned around and bit us. Post prostitution scandal from Bynum. Think about that, y'all. So I'm saying, if the people who now, you know who was also a part of the appointment? The brother who is being appointed as president. He's been a part of IHL 14 years. So how is it that someone who sits in on the interviews of the president gets selected as president? I'll tell you what happened. And I'm going to use business. You know what you get to do? Now I don't care, man. I look, I'm telling you, I don't care. I'm like TD when TD first keeps come on. Bro, I don't care. I'm just telling you right now. I don't. It is what it is. So here's what I'm saying. If you get to sit in interviews, not as a candidate, and you turn around and get the job, you now have all the information that was presented by every single candidate. And you get to steal ideas that don't belong to you. Now, I'm not saying that he can't, capable or not. Can versus and can he do it? Is he capable of doing it? Is irrelevant at this point, because Brother C. Lee just stated the legitimacy process. Now you got to prove that you're legitimate. You get what I'm saying? Because there is no evidence and proof, and this is what happens. I felt like because of what happened to Myers was the best of the worst of the last three. You know, because at least we were getting new stuff under her. She might have been doing, we were getting all kind of new stuff. We ran out of money, but we got some new buildings around that thing. You see what I'm saying? Hey, Myers was spending. Now, which is strange because IHL was signing off on it. She drained the reserves. And then in comes Bynum, who's a resounding no. So you know he was an appointment. And the man get caught in cleaning the prostitution ring. Now, granted, they threw the case out retroactively. Who cares? That's happy for you, brother. What best wishes to you. And then the stuff that goes down with Hudson, that's now outlined in a lawsuit. And then you got Hudson, who I've spoken with several times in regards to the stuff with our previous head coach, endorses him as if that means something. It's like sometimes you need to read the room and just be quiet. You get what I'm saying? Like, you don't have the cachet anymore to say, hey, man, I endorse this brother. Like, who cares, man? But this is my point. When it's that bad, we get the power now because we get to come to them and say, look, man, y'all have screwed us. And you know what? We're going to sue y'all and make y'all we're going to force your hand to do right by us. And then we get an able-bodied candidate that's got the credentials, that's ready, that is a time. And somebody thinks to themselves that the right idea is to sully this woman's reputation with some bogus article that led to nothing. Nothing's going to change from that article. There's not a thing that's going to be done about it. The whole purpose of the article was basically like it wasn't a diversionary tactic. It's really damn near it was libel, really. It was really subtle. It was very subtle, man, at the timing of it. And again, for that to happen and for IHL to say, oh, okay, y'all want to run with that? Okay, cool. Well, we're not going to go this route because y'all just gave us ammunition to do what we wanted to do anyways. So you basically got duped into. So this is what we chose. And I'm going to just say it since we kind of dancing around it. We chose, I'm not talking about the panel. I'm just saying we chose an IHL plant versus a qualified alum that was going to hold everybody in that university accountable. And that to me is beyond egregious to me. That's despicable. Because instead of us saying, you know what, let me put myself aside and let's think about what's the best for this university and these students and what this dear old college home needs. It just feels like everybody uses Jackson State as this, you know, as like a punching bag in a sense. I don't know. I'll shut up for a second.
Use it as a come up. And you know,
I was going to say that.
totally
I chose a different route. Go ahead.
yeah, and I totally agree with you, man, because everybody at Jackson State needs to be held accountable. The faculty doing a phenomenal job, the professors, the researchers. I tip my hat to all of them, especially those who are garnering funds. And I just want to make everyone aware of how serious it is, because you guys got to understand, of course, we know we're underfunded, grossly underfunded. Most of our funding has come from all of those major research dollars and grants that we've been getting for the better part of the last 22 years. So if you have somebody come in who does not have an emphasis on continuing that legacy, or wanting to maybe do away with the research aspect of the institution, it's going to seriously hurt our funding. So for me, I'm gonna be honest, man. I mean, the blame definitely goes around. It's not just IHL. I sincerely wish that our alums would have made noise over the last 90 days at least. You know, I was at a loss of words. I'm still at a loss of words, man, because the fact that our alums did not protest or make any type of noise whatsoever in the city of Jackson. Because as we know, silence is acceptance.
Yeah, it is,
so
man.
the more we were silent, I guess we were sending an indirect message to IHL that we cool with it. So moving forward, man, I mean, there's nothing we can do about it now with respect to the process, because what's done is done. I just want to challenge all JSU alums and supporters and stakeholders. We got to make noise, man. It's not just about buying season tickets. And in my opinion, man, to me, it's a ploy. I feel like the powers that be, they want us to be distracted with sports like JSU sports and the Sonic Boom. And I love all of that. That's great. But as Ken mentioned, if there's no institution, if there's no external funding, how are we going to support all that? There's not going to be any of that. We got to make noise and keep our eyes focused on what's important. And that's the issues going on campus. It's the issues going on with Jackson State. What's sad, man, I'm going to tell you, I watched, because I'm a Sonic Boom alum, I watched the old clip of the Boom from 1990 at Southern. And Dr. Jimmy James, he was our announcer. And, you know, the Boom was floating the letters up the field. And he said, you know, Jackson State University with an enrollment of 6,700, da 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 da. I said, damn, here we are 30-something years later. And the enrollment is, it's still the same pretty much. I don't know, when I came in Jackson State in 2002, the enrollment was like maybe 7,000, a little over 7,000. How is it? It's 20-something years later, and we're still basically the same. So there's been a lot of egregious incidents with the water system being denied on campus, the lack of housing. McAllister Whiteside is still offline. It's been offline like 2 years now. We're needing, of course, a new science building. And Myers pointed that out during her presidency. There's just a lot of different issues. But I still go back to that point, man. Unfortunately, like as I put in the chat, there are a group of alums who are intimidated by alums and professionals outside of Mississippi who attain a certain level of skill set and resources and relationships. And they're intimidated by that. And they don't want these people in any type of leadership position, whether it's within alumni, whether it's in
media,
on the university, because they know these people are going to come in and they're going to clean house. They're going to get rid of a whole bunch of minutia, and they don't want that.
I have a question. And you guys help me out because I want to get some understanding, because I want the best for the university just as much as the next man. No, I don't want to puppet in. I know what a puppet is. I know what a puppet do. I know why people put certain people in place so they can pull the strings and just have them as the front. I understand that. But here's my question. Even with this past election, we all knew for the betterment of the university, maybe black people, whomever you race, whatever you want, who the better candidate. Yet and still, the other man still won. All right. With the IHL being in control, do we even know who's on that board, who we would speak to on that board. What would a walkout and a protest do with at the end of the day when they don't care? No way. So, I mean, I would definitely love a change, but what is the actual goal or answer to addressing what they have going on? Because apparently, if they don't care, if they're appointing people the way that they want to appoint people, and you do a walkout or you have something to say, unless we go to the Supreme Court and just make a change and everybody making that noise is on the same accord to make that change, then it's rhetoric.
So you answered your question in the end. That point about the two stakeholders that went to the third stakeholder, what you have to do when you don't have the physical power is you have to be able to be unified to present an alternate plan so that when their plan blows up in its face, you now have empirical data to take some recourse. But if you don't have a plan, that is, and I'm trying to use something other than, but if well, I'll just use this. I don't this theoretical, everybody. Even though I did a grade of the football team, whatever. If you don't have an alternate, you can't just say the offensive scheme needs to change without presenting an offensive scheme. So you can't just say the curriculum is bad without presenting an alternative curriculum and having the 5 stakeholders to say this is the alternate curriculum. You can't just say that the obtaining of research dollars is bad without the 5 stakeholders being able to present a plan to say, and this is how we have to do a better job. So that's our only plan. That's our only leverage. And so what needs to happen is all alumni need to ask the alumni president, were you asked about a coalition between the stakeholders? All faculty need to ask the faculty president, were you asked about, and ask, and then say, and even if they deny it, say, well, what are you doing to develop a coalition between the stakeholders? Because as long as we don't have a plan, as long as we don't have a documented plan. So for instance, remember I talked about those 8 months. The new president is going to have to submit a 5-year plan, TD, in the first 8 months. Do the 5 stakeholders have their 5-year plan? Because if the 5 stakeholders don't have their 5-year plan, then IHL can say there was no pushback about what we presented. And if it blows up, no one can say, but we had this other plan. So that's really the only leverage we have at this point. And also what the 5 stakeholders getting together do is, that's how most universities raise outside money other than from the state. It is those 5 stakeholders. So for instance, what happens is, so we have a creative writing concentration in Jackson State. To raise money for the creative writing concentration in Jackson State, 2 things happen. Those in the English department will begin to connect with private givers. In fact, one of the reasons we have it is because we got a private donation to Jackson State. Then we'll go to the alumni and say, look, we're building this program at Jackson State. Can the alumni give us some traction in putting us in connection to people who might be willing to give? But you can't do that if faculty is not talking to alumni is not talking to staff, and staff is not talking to students. If those 4 stakeholders are not talking to each other, then we just sitting back reacting to whatever IHL wants to do, if any of that makes sense.
Precise. Which Ken, you said that we, speaking as a whole, presented or wanted a very prominent candidate who would have made the changes that the school, that the university need. and IHL basically said, "Forget y'all. This is what we're gonna do." And
no,
with
that's not what IHL did.
Well,
what IHL did, let me
they
make
didn't do
sure I'm
that.
clear on this. What they did was, it's subtle, man. This is the thing that people have to understand. There is another element of discrimination and racism that is very prominent right now, okay, within our community. Number one is division, okay? A divided house is easy to conquer, bro. Trust me. I hate to go back to the plantation days, but it's the same dynamic. You got the house Negro, the field Negro. You can't unify on the plantation, brother, if the amenities of the big house causes some to negate the exit strategy. And then what tends to happen, TD, is those that look just like you tend to become the ones that become the gatekeepers. And you can't get nothing done. So this is what I suggest in short term. Brother Marcus, welcome to Jackson State. We finna light your ass up. And I say that respectfully. Your feet will be held to the fire and you will be held accountable as a president. Because if that's who it gave us, TD, in the short term, because you know how hard it is. It's hard to get black folk to agree on anything. We can't even agree. Do we want mac and cheese baked or do we want it cooked on top of the oven? We bicker over everything. LeBron, Jordan, anything. But my point is, and let me clean it up a little bit. The point I'm making is no disrespect to the president, no disrespect to him. But this is what we're saying. If he get the job done, then then good. He got the job done. There ain't no cookies coming for doing the job that you was appointed for. You ain't gonna get no cookie, ain't no celebration, because we haven't had good leadership, which has led to a plethora of other problems, right? So what I'm saying is that we are going to have to hold we're gonna have to hold the president position accountable because it's because of how you got here. Without disrespect to you as a man or a person or a professional, we don't have no disrespect to you. We just don't respect how you got here. Don't make no difference that you one of us because the person that got pooped on was also one of us. So which one of us do we ride for? Do we ride for the one that's in the house because he was appointed by the same damn system that he oversaw that continued to create and cripple us and give us piss poor leadership that didn't pass the test of what we wanted? Or, you see what I'm saying? And whose fault is that? I fault those who was in short-term power, who put certain things in places and tried to play on the hearts and minds and sensitivities of those who could have made that decision. I just don't understand why that article had to come out the way that it did. And nothing's going to come of it. All it did was draw a big old question mark. That's what that was for. That was
and you know what's wild about that? You know what's wild about that article, man? It was confirmed last week during a meeting that the IHL found nothing wrong when they did their internal audit.
Nothing wrong.
Absolutely nothing wrong.
TD, it was hocus pocus, rocus mocus, whatever they say. It was straight hogwash.
So,
and all it did, real quick, all it did, so you asked what they gonna do what they want to do anyway. No, what they did was they played us.
Yep.
And we fell for it, bro. So they sat back and they let us do it to ourselves. So get what they get to say. Hey, look, hey, we followed the process.
But are you implying that that there was some inside help for that?
Yeah. I'm gonna say yes, it was.
100%.
It was. I'm gonna say it this. There was some, and the Bible speaks on, and I'm gonna paraphrase this in Revelation. Those that claim to be Jews are indeed the synagogues of Satan. You see what I'm saying? And so if we going, and so it goes back to Brother Jerome's original point. You got a very small group of alums, because looking at that, how that article came out on the affirmation of Brother Marcus, you had certain names written in that article. And it was like, and when the news release came out, you scratching your head. It's like, wait a minute. Now these people are Jacksonians now, and they already approving this. Like this man didn't even interview for the damn process, but but they already out there giving him high fives and praise. So yeah, somebody took that article and went to IHL and was like, well, you know what? Y'all might need to come up with a plan too. And IHL like, well, shit, let's do it. Yeah, all right, let's go get your boy over here and put him up.
Well, it wasn't so much. It was almost like, well, you know what? I'll go and do it.
Right.
Let me say this right here, though. Let me say this about that, though.
I'm gonna make this point too when you get finished, though. I'll come back.
No, I was just gonna say, TD, that it was intentional. It was intentional. It's always intentional. That's why people have to be careful when the rock star starts getting hate unnecessarily. All of a sudden, you know what I mean? And it's like, it is what it is, man. People got to be called to the carpet on what they do. And what makes it so sad is that the driving force behind it didn't even yield the results that they wanted. It had an adverse effect to it.
Right.
It didn't even go the way you wanted it to go. You get what I'm saying? So in the end, it's like every man for himself.
So basically, the person on the inside who spilled the beans were looking for a reward, and at the end of the day, didn't get the reward that they were looking for spilling the beans and to mess up the whole process.
Right. That's exactly what happened.
Yep.
So in other words, it goes right back to say, if that article, if the candidate that they were willing to choose, or the strong candidate that that you guys felt was the best candidate, was on the table, if that article allowed them to change their mind that swiftly, then they was looking for that to occur anyway. So in other words,
they're looking for something.
Yeah, yeah, they were looking for something.
They wanted to do what they
remember.
So
you remember that spoof of a comedy with "Don't Be a Menace"?
Right.
Remember they was like, hurry up and buy. But then the person that was actually robbing them was the other people and they was paying attention to them. And then they left some behind, TD. And they said, hey, you left something. That's kind of what it was like. It was like, hey, you left something, man. It's like basically we handed, here's a stick to beat me over the head with. Please beat me over the head.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Ken, let me make this quick point real quick. I actually read that lawsuit that their sister filed, and in the lawsuit it states back in the spring, when our previous president was having his issues, IHL wanted to put Marcus as the interim president. It's all there, black and white, but I think they took a vote, and I think Dr. Anthony was the one who kind of won that particular straw vote. But Marcus's name was put up for consideration. He just didn't have enough votes to become the interim president after Hudson's departure in the spring.
And here's something that also needs to be clarified about why not having the right process is important. I know everybody looks at the salacious rumors because we love salacious rumors. But when when President Hudson got a vote of no confidence, it had absolutely nothing to do with that. It had to do with his relationship with faculty and staff. And I think that's something that needs to be pointed out, because if not, people will say, well, if not for the rumors, then he would have been doing X and Y. No. The vote of no confidence was because just of that. You had enough faculty and enough staff who had particularly lost confidence in his ability to communicate new policies and procedures at the university. And I'm going to dovetail that into G5's question. G5 says that how do we come to the table to be engaged with this president to ensure he's on the job? Most people don't know that all those 5 stakeholders have actual appointed times to meet with the president. Faculty is supposed to meet with the president a certain number of times a year. Staff is supposed to meet with the president a certain number of times of the year. Students through SCA supposed to meet with them. Even alumni is supposed to meet with the president. What happens is, if the president sometimes either doesn't like what's being said or doesn't like the criticism, the president will stop meeting with certain members of the stakeholders. And that's what happened in Hudson's case, because the faculty senate was complaining about certain curriculum and certain things that were being pushed through. And I want to be clear, it had nothing to do with rumors, had nothing to do with all this. We talking about the business of the university. And so the way that you hold a president's fire to the feet is not only individual stakeholders meeting their regular time, but those individual stakeholders being unified. Do you know how to mess a president up if a president say, okay, I got to go meet with the faculty senate today, and he walk up in there and it's representatives of all 5 stakeholders? See, because TD, what happens is, if I meet with you on Monday and I meet with Ken on Tuesday, I can tell TD, I can tell you anything Monday, and then I can go to Ken and say, you know, Ken, TD over there tripping. Well, Ken don't know that because Ken wasn't in the meeting with you. But if all 5 stakeholders are meeting with the president, and I want to be clear, I'm not saying that stakeholders should meet individually, because there are certain things that are stakeholders' business. But I also think that coming back to this joint process that they were trying to create, that the alumni should have at least one representative when faculty senate is meeting. The alumni should have at least one representative when staff is meeting with the president. The alumni should have at least one representative when SCA. So that now we know whatever the president said, that's how you hold their feet. And then that's how you are able to have a joint unified agenda. So that now the president is not able to play. Because let me tell you a trick. This is an all president's trick, Brother TD. This is I've seen many presidents on many campuses do this. If Ken is your faculty senate president, what I'll say to you, TD, is, well, I can't work with Ken. He's unruly, TD.
Mm-hmm.
He disrupts the meeting, TD. That's why I can't work with Ken. What you need to do is appoint another faculty president. Well, TD, if you're not in the meeting, you don't know if Ken is unruly or not. And so a lot of times presidents are able to remove strong faculty senate presidents, strong staff senate presidents, even strong alumni presidents, simply by saying, well, this person is a malcontent, or this person is abrasive. What the hell does abrasive mean? Give me some empirical. So that's why you need these kind of unified coalitions, so that, because one thing that we do bad is we'll put a person out there to do the work, and then when the fire gets hot, we leave that person out there dangling in the wind.
Yep.
So let me say this then. Well, I guess let me ask this then. So D85. So you said that the president that was selected, you said they wanted him as interim president, but he didn't have enough votes, so therefore they voted Dr. Elaine Hayes Anthony in. Okay, why wouldn't she even considered for the position or looked over if she was able to be appointed, you know, as interim, and I guess did a good job while she was there? Why wasn't that consideration even done by the IJL? Was, you know what I'm saying? Did she even get an interview? I mean, what's the deal with that?
Yes. So you're basically asking why she wasn't considered for the process?
Yeah.
Well, personal opinion, I don't think that it is, like I said, this is no disrespect to her personally, but honestly, when you're talking about, let me word this carefully too, so I don't disrespect the platform. But I honestly think that she's past her time when you're talking about the heavy lifting that needs to be done at the university level, right? Now that's just outside looking in. Now, you know, publicly, great job of being, going cross country. We appreciate her showing up at LA, going to Detroit, being in places where, it's respected that, it's expected that she be there. But I still think that there's some fundamental leadership structural things that she doesn't understand on how the university operates at that global level, where she's just not as equipped as she needs to be to lead the university forward. Now, the other part of that, now there's another theory I do have behind the scenes, but I'm not really in a position to try to figure out how that would work, because she does have a lot of contacts, relationships with a certain party in Mississippi. Mainly, a lot of those individuals are within a certain party on IHL, and we know which party that is. But I still don't think that may have anything to do with it. But I just think that there's just some things that have occurred where she's just not going to be the best fit. I mean, and I hate to say it, but there's some material things going on at the school right now that are still unresolved, and that kind of falls into her lap right now.
Let's go for TD. Let's go back to TD. Hold up. Let's go back to D85 Tiger's first point, because they may clarify your point. Here's the real problem. Because of IHL, we don't even have an empirical way to say who was and who wasn't most qualified. Let me give you an example. Do you know what's supposed to happen for the finalist job for the president, for the finalist job for the VP of Academic Affairs, and for the finalist job for the chair of the department? Because all three of them are supposed to go through the same thing for the finalist job. What the finalists for, the fourth finalist for the president's job, the fourth finalist for VP of Academic Affairs, and then the fourth finalist for any department or school, they all have to give a public presentation of their vision and goal for either the school or the department. Yeah. And so what happens is that someone who's been in those meetings, and let me be clear, TD, didn't want to be in them, right? That's why I retired early, because they kept putting me on those committees. I'm like, I'm not tenured. Somebody else should be on some of these. But what would happen is, so I sat on the one, so I've served on the dean search. I've served on the dean of liberal arts search. I've served on the dean of graduate school. The four finalists are supposed to give a presentation, and you sit there. Sometimes the presentation are the same day, sometimes they're different days. PowerPoint, everything. All those questions get answered. One, they give their presentation, and then there is an hour of questions and scrutiny about the presentation. You don't just give your little pretty presentation. So because we were robbed of those presentations, we don't now even have the empirical evidence to say who was and who wasn't most qualified. And that's the most disturbing part. I'll shut up. I'm sorry.
No, you good. Jerome, you got anything?
Oh, one last thing. Somebody put something in the chat, and I always get this confused. Someone said, Val B said that I thought initially there was the IHL rule that an interim. I always get it confused. And so if anybody in the chat, and I've been doing this for 25 years, I always get it confused. And brothers wrong, correct me.
Interim can't, but I think
interim can't, acting can. Now here's what happens in that though. If you want to apply for the job, you can say, make me acting. Right? If you're thinking about it, say, make me acting. And also, it is not against policy for interim to be switched to acting. And we all know, everybody know, okay, they switched from interim to acting. That means that person went into it not wanting the job, or didn't think they wanted the job. They've done it for an amount of time. So it's not say one of those things that was unheard of to switch someone from interim to acting. But yeah, so that's always your key is if you are more named one or the other, but you can always switch. So saying that to say, just because you get that label does not automatically mean that you can't get the job or can't apply for the job. I can tell you this. The only reason Rob Page didn't really pursue the permanent was one, because of age. I mean, this man who has served his university, served his country, and because of age, that's why he didn't pursue it. Unfortunately, the mistake he made was, well, I'm not going to say the mistake he made. IHL used what he did. He elevated Hudson from legal to special assistant. And when he elevated Hudson from legal to special assistant, that's what gave Hudson a pathway into the presidency spot, which means that he didn't come up really through the ranks and didn't have, again, another national search to vet all that out.
I just want to say, and thank you, Celie, because you definitely broke that down. Overall, man, I guess the next level I'm going to discuss outside of the process, the amount of alums, whether they're currently working at the university, serving in alumni spaces, or like Hayes Anthony. Here's my thing, man. If you know that you do not have this, and I want everybody to hear me, and I say this with love, because at the end of the day, I keep them, as I tell my chapter, my alums here in the Carolinas, we're going to keep the main thing. And the main thing is supporting and elevating Jackson State. If you know you are not qualified in the sense of John Peoples qualified, in the sense of a Dr. Myers or Dr. Mason, or even David Horde, or Celie, who's the brother that was A&T's former chancellor, and then he came in with Myers and he served as the chief of staff, Reddick.
Yeah, there we go.
If you're not on that level, please just get out the way, because you are doing all of us a huge disservice. You're doing these students a huge disservice. The level of unprofessionalism, the level of lack of drive and initiative and skill set that you possess, and you don't even have the desire to get better, you're doing everybody a huge disservice. And you're causing issues on campus. You're causing issues among the JSU base. Get out of the way. You're taking up air, you're taking up room that somebody else more qualified should be occupying. Get out of the way and let somebody else who's more qualified take that role. The mere fact that we're having this conversation about somebody who was an acting president that just only had a background in journalism and was very local, and here we are, a premier research HBCU with a national brand and a global impact. Look how far our standard has fallen in just a decade.
In a short period of time, man.
Very short. And it pisses me off, man, like that our sites have been taking off of the mark in just a decade. And here we are, we got researchers on campus that are still busting their ass, garnering huge allocations for grants and research dollars. And none of that is being promoted on social media platforms. None of that is being highlighted. None of that is being on video. We got students who just, of course, went to Fort Worth, Texas, and won the Black Enterprise Hackathon competition among all these other HBCU engineers and all these other HBCUs. And you mean to tell me we don't have a media team to cover that? It's pissing me. You can't tell me it's not intentional. They're trying to divert our attention to strictly sports and everything that's extracurricular, as opposed to the huge amount of impact that we've garnered over the last 25 years. And in my opinion, it's almost as if over the last 7 or so years, we've been watching the dumbing down of Jackson State in real time.
Facts.
And it pisses me off.
Facts.
Because nobody's getting pissed off. Nobody's sounding alarm. Nobody's protesting. Nobody's demanding accountability. And we just sitting back.
Every time somebody that can do something like that, every time somebody that is in a position to sound the alarm, or not necessarily just sound the alarm, but make the movers and shakers, those that are in front of them always seem to they get incentivized with something that causes them to shut up and do less and get comfortable. And it's very strategic, man. And it's pretty. That's why I was saying, like, we're gonna have to. The frustrated alums, I would have to say, are going to have to get active, man. We're going to have to light a fire under those that are in place, since they won't do it and they won't put someone in there that would do it. Then we're just gonna have to get on some nerves and like really ride them in the direction that they want to go, and just make it seem like, look, man, if you want this role, I'm sorry, man, you're gonna have to come with it.
And Ken, somebody in the chat just said, we got to ask ourselves, if it was Howard or A&T or Morgan, would they hire these people? I love that question, because those are our peer institutions. Our peer institutions are not Alcorn. It's not Alabama A&M. It's not Valley. Those are our peer institutions with respect to the mission and the goal that's been established over the last 25 years. If the likes of those schools are not hiring the quality of people that we're bringing in, it's not just about the president. It's about folks that are on campus in the tower. If they wouldn't be fit at one of those peer institutions, why should they be fit at Jackson State? So it goes beyond just the president. So I with all due respect, man, I really do hope these individuals are listening, and I hope the street committee sends this message back to them. And I saw Carl Cunningham, he said it's because of retirement. That's cool. I mean, you can get shifted to another, department or another space on campus. But if you're in a position or a role right now, and you're not doing your best, and you have no desire to do better, or you don't have the skill set or the expertise or relationships or resources or experience outside of what you know, just get out the way, man. Let somebody else do it, because you're hurting the I love. You're not guarding the yard. You don't love Jackson State. You love yourself. You love a check. Get out of the way. Do us a favor.
There's a lot of them on campus that's like that too. Go ahead, T.
Right. So listening at you, Brother Jerome, and basically saying that the interim president, I guess, wasn't qualified, and listening to what you said, I think it was the 85 show, who said the article that was put out that derailed the leading candidate for the position. Now that you found out that that document was falsified, why can't that be corrected? Or what would be the process to go back and get that corrected if the leading candidate was lied on? I'm just asking.
The appointment has been made.
Yeah. Once you make the appointment.
Once you make the appointment, bro, it's not.
Yeah, it's a contract. It's a contract. Once he signs a contract,
done deal now.
It's like, hey, we may not like that holding call, but once the buzzer blows, it's the end of the game.
That's why it's so critical. That's why you take the position that you take, and it's like, that's why I was saying, like, we need to have these conversations, because it's like, we're just as culpable if we're trying to. I don't have any relationships I'm trying to protect. Because if I really say that I love Jackson University, I want to see what the best for it. I mean, I think we all can say that you guys have seen us really get active in a way that in the arena that we're in. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's no holds barred. Like, we're going to be respectful. We're going to be as professional as we know how to be. But at the same time, we're going to keep it real, man. Like, it's one thing to say that. And that's why when we did some of the things we do, not to make it about us, but it's like, TD will tell you, man, that everybody don't like the transparency, bro. Everybody don't like the going above and beyond to do that because it interferes with the bullshit that's going on behind the scenes in certain aspects or whatever. It highlights that. Like, what are you doing? We're like troublemakers now. You know, not like, I'm just saying it comes off that way. Like you're starting stuff in a sense. But we're not, that's not the intent. The intent is to get done what we want to get done and do it in a way where we know that the targets that we aim for, we hit. It ain't personal, but don't get in our way though. That's why we say this. We talk about Jackson State on this platform. This platform ain't tied to Jackson State. We just alums that represent, we're just alums basically, you know what I'm saying, that love the university and we love talking about it and being entertained by it. So that's why we have to have a place to come and have intelligent, challenging, thought-provoking dialogue. We have to. Because this is the reality of it. Somebody said that today, like, how else is the information getting out? It's disappointing that this wasn't even on there. Had a whole hackathon. Y'all know what a hackathon is, man? Like, that's something that people were talking about. What was it? The Blacks in Tech?
I think like Black Enterprise or something like
Black
that.
Enterprise.
It was just something that just I saw some of the Black folks that went to the event. It was $800 to go for a ticket, and people talking about it basically felt like a big old social event. You know what I mean? And there was no real. And so I remember somebody saying, like, where was the hackathon? Like, where was all the real stuff that comes with the package that you buy? And here we are. We have a huge opportunity where we won it, bro. Think about that. Students won the hackathon, bro. That's a big freaking deal. And guess what, brother? I didn't even know it until you just said it. And I'm sorry. I guess I got my head in my butt. So you know what I mean? But that's crazy, man.
And Ken, not even that, over the last couple of weeks, of course, there was the Margaret Walker symposium. And Celie, you can correct me if I'm wrong. They had a conference, and there were over like 3,000.
It was the biggest. Let me say this clearly.
Yep.
It was the biggest gathering of African American female poets that's going to happen this year at any university anywhere. Steve, let me say this again. We had over 750 people come to Jackson State. Well, they had to come to the convention center. And again, I guess like I said, how many people heard about it? How many people knew about it? How many people knew that Jackson State University, through the Margaret Walker Alexander Center, was hosting the Phyllis Wheatley Poetry Festival, which, by the way, was the 50th year anniversary of the original one that Dr. Alexander called, which at that time was the greatest gathering of African American female poets on the planet at Jackson State. Happened again 50 years later. And we were fortunate that we were able to get all of the former, the ladies who were alive, the poets and creators who were alive to participate either in person or virtually, along with some of the major Black female writers who are up and coming. Yeah, so it was a major thing. And just to add, go ahead.
Who was the sister that was behind the 1619 project?
What's Nicole's name? Hannah. Nicole Hannah.
Nicole Hannah Jones.
There we go, Nicole Hannah Jones. I don't know why I was going. She was. Nicole Hannah Jones.
She was actually there among other literary giants.
Yep.
And it got zero for real publicity. Look, we should have had a whole media team doing interviews. And I mean, it was getting that. The reason why I found out the nuts and bolts about it was because national media outlets actually covered it, but the university didn't.
Yep.
And that's why I say, man, like, if you're an R2 HBCU allegedly striving to be R1, you got to look like it. And when you look on the social media, we don't even look like an R2 institution anymore. As we know, social media is the gateway, is the front door to everyone's institution. We got to look like number one an institution, but we have to look like we are the premier institution that we are. And there's a lot of things slipping through the cracks regarding student successes. There's students that are doing the phenomenal things on campus.
Excellent stuff, man.
I mean, garnering phenomenal internships nationally and abroad, and performing quite well at these companies. And none of that's being covered. I really just want, as Ken mentioned, when the new president comes into place, I know he's of course going to call some different meetings with alums and community and students. When it's our time, for everybody that's in the chat, I really do pray that you guys stay engaged, get engaged,
Yes,
and kind of ramp it up a bit,
man,
and ask some really viable questions regarding external funding, the image of the institution, what our plan is going to look like for the next 10 to 15 years, how we're going to approach our 150th anniversary, which is only 4 years away, developing a capital campaign. Like, these are all hot button topics and issues that need to be at the forefront. In addition to all the situations that's going on in the tower as well as on campus, we got to get active starting now. I know we weren't really active for real. And what does active look like? Seeley laid it out. When you got that pact between all five of the stakeholder groups, let's get active. Let's do it now. If you're an alum, if you're faculty, if you're a student, etc., let's go ahead and begin to have more of these conversations, because these are the issues that really, really matter right now. Athletics is going to take care of itself. We got a great athletic director. We got great coaches. We got great student athletes. All that's going to take care of itself. What are we going to do about the trajectory and the solvency and the financial stability of the institution? What are we going to do?
It's a great
point.
I'll
add to this. How do I want to say this? If you're talking to somebody, whichever those stakeholders are, and they tell you, well, this person is a troublemaker, this person is always looking for a fight, this person is a malcontent, you need to go talk to that person yourself. Because more than likely, the person that they're calling a troublemaker or malcontent is because that person is holding other people's feet to the fire and they don't like the heat. Or, as I like to tell people, I don't know any roast that likes it when you turn the kitchen light on.
And Brother Cleve, I at this point, or anybody that says, oh, they don't know how to talk to people.
Right. Because there are a lot, again, there have been a lot of strong fighters for the university. One of them who I always have to give props to is Dr. Ivory Phillips. And Dr. Ivory Phillips was president of the Faculty Senate. He was dean of education. And he was just, number one, when he walked into the room, there was not going to be more intelligent person walking to the room. That's not me putting down anybody else, because there's some brilliant people. Now, people may not always agree with his strategy, may not agree with these things, but the one thing about him was he was always going to fight with empirical information and fight for what was right. Du Bois has a statement, and we need to remember this statement by W.B. Du Bois. Du Bois said we have to always fight for what's right in season and out of season. We have to stop waiting for it to be in season to fight for our rights, because it'll never be in season for us to fight for our rights. So don't always be so quick to separate yourself from somebody because that person may be labeled as a malcontent or may be labeled as they just always looking for a fight. Go talk to that person yourself and see the ideas that that person has. Because a lot of times what will happen is that one person who's willing to go to bat for us gets pushed out the door. And then the status is business as usual. It's status quo. I just wanted to add that little piece.
All good stuff, man. I love it. I love it. I mean, you're right, Jerome and C. Lee and Eve 85. Great questions, TD. So much, man, that's on the table now, man. We gotta Stain got to get us. Said Dr. Phillips is a JSU grad. Yeah. I guess the next thing is where do we go from here? You know what I mean? When is he expected to take over office? Do we have that
Monday.
This Monday.
This Monday. That's what I thought.
It goes back to each one of us. Identify in which stakeholder group you're in.
Yeah.
And one, be active in it. Look, I'm not gonna sit here and lie like I wasn't the one who, when I used to get my alumni those ballots and whatnot, you haphazardly check them off, shoot them back, you know. But if you're not involved in whatever stakeholder group, and also asking why your stakeholder group isn't connecting with other stakeholder groups, nothing will change. And I think that's the thing that people have to start doing is being active in your stakeholder group and asking yourself, can we get connected with other stakeholder groups so we can all be in the room together talking?
And to your point about stakeholder groups and getting active, for everybody who does not know, we have national elections within the NAA that's coming up in the spring. In order for you to be eligible to vote, make sure that your dues paid nationally by December 1st. Make sure your dues paid by December so you can vote in the spring.
And it's I'm glad they finally started sending out the little email thing. Do they go out? Is it June or July when they go out, Brother Jerome? When they expire? Is it June or July? Usually, I always end up paying mine either in June or July. Is that when they go out? You have to renew.
So it renews, of course, at the end of the fiscal year, which is at the end of June. But
there we go.
But if you pay, let's say, a couple of months prior to June, it'll carry over into the next fiscal year. So you don't have to repay July 1st.
Okay, good deal. Yeah, I was just glad when they started shooting that email because I would always forget. And I get that email. Now that I get that email, I don't have to forget no more.
But you know what, fellas, I definitely want to leave on a high note. I just want to say, you know, the things that we have going on at Jackson State, and the issues, and you know the areas of opportunity that we're bringing to the forefront to the table. Just know we are in a better position than a lot of other institutions. We're bringing these things to the forefront because we know Jackson State can be better than what it is.
Right.
Just know that we are, of course, still a very solid R2 institution, high research. This College of Business is doing amazing things, engineering, STEM, education, social work, etc. All is not lost. Trust me. We are far from doom and gloom. Regardless of who the president is, we still have phenomenal faculty in place to ensure the future and continued success of the institution. We have phenomenal students on campus. We have phenomenal alumni who are very much engaged. And trust me when I tell y'all, man, there are a lot of HBCUs out here who would love to have the type of platform that we're on right now. They would love to have the type of engaged alumni that we have. They would love to have the type of dynamic students that we have. All that we're asking is for everybody in the chat to get engaged. And there's different levels of engagement. Of course, you got financial, there's vocal, there's physical, there is philanthropic with respect to reaching out to your employers for internships, etc. There's so many different ways that you can get involved, to get engaged, to propel, of course, these students towards future success. And of course, the continued legacy of Jackson State. We just need everybody to make some noise. So when the new president, of course, begins those kind of town halls as he addresses the alumni base, we need you at the table. We need you to speak up. And a great way for you to speak up, of course, is to join National Alumni Association, your local chapter, but send emails, get active on social media. Tell these individuals where we come from, where we are, and what you would like to see in Jackson State moving forward. All is not lost. Trust me, regardless of who is in place, we're still a phenomenal HBCU that a lot of other HBCUs are still trying to bite and model off of our brand. So don't get discouraged. Don't get dismayed. We just need everybody to get active this go around so that we can continue that level of high research and productivity. That's all I got, fellas.
Very
Happy
well said.
Thanksgiving. Yes, sir.
Thank you, brother. I actually got someone I would love to connect you with. I had a conversation today actually about our research department. It's the one that's mulling over an opportunity to do they consider Jackson State? They had some offers on the table and in the speech pathology area, and mentioned Newkirk and all those different names, and was just saying they wanted to talk to me. I said, well, Jackson State is a R2 institution, and we have a really great research department. But it's funny that you mentioned some of the things you mentioned, and I actually had you in mind. I said I'd love to connect you if you wanted to have some more extensive conversations about some of those areas. I think he's definitely gonna, consider Jackson State, be a great addition to the staff, faculty rather, on campus. So be good stuff, man.
I'm gonna leave y'all. I just want to Slack 25. Yes, I agree with you. I was on those committees. The Margaret Walker Center had everything. They were hosting that it was up by my The Margaret Walker Alexander Center did a great job. In fact, Sister Rochelle James Terry over in publications, she did a great job. You were right, but outside of them, the university at large could have also done a better job. That's the point we were making. I'm with you. I get a lot of stories through my email from publications, but not everybody's getting those emails, and not everybody's checking the website. In fact, I can tell you most people don't check the Jackson State website. Most alumni don't check the Jackson State website. So we were not disparaging the Margaret Walker Center. They did an excellent job promoting it. But even though they did, and we know we did an excellent job promoting it because, like we said, over 750 people, we had to turn people away, Ken. We literally were turning people away and had to push it over to the center. But that being said, we can still do a better job promoting the good things that we were doing. And that's the point I think we were all trying to make. We weren't trying to disparage one group. We were just simply saying that there were still people who didn't know what was happening. But other than that, I echo what Brother Jerome and everybody else has said. And I also want everybody to leave here knowing that today was not a hit piece on the incoming president. It was an examination of the poor process.
That's exactly what it was. But you know what? Some will hear it the way they hear it, and I'm not even gonna try to. I have a new saying now. If you have a right to think and see it however you choose to, and I have a right to decide whether I choose to try to change your mind about it or not. And usually I'm gonna choose to just leave it be. So however you choose to think about it, it is what it is. I'm not going back and forth with you. I speak English, and whatever we say is on wax. So I'm not. It's not my business to try to decipher between what your ears hear versus what's actually said. So that right there that's called a debate, and that's something I'm not having. So we made it very clear. I don't know the president that was appointed. I just know what's on Google, Wikipedia's credentials. So it's not personable for me. But I just get sick and tired of you can't circumvent process for personal association because the university is not hinged on your personal relationship with the person that was appointed. That's all I'm saying. That doesn't have anything to do with that. Great person. Oh, he's that. Okay, good deal. I'm glad you know that. And I'm glad you vouched for the character of the person that was selected. How that person was selected was still trash, and that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about the person. But somebody's gonna hear this. Oh, he wasn't qualified. I got 20. I don't care about that. We care about the fact that we have some alums that chose the safer route than to go with the other route in their mind because they felt like the other person was just going to be a little too much. come in here and try to change everything as if they don't see that it's already broke. But
Right.
what do we know? We just keep taking all the scandals and bad news that keep hitting the news wave on the chin. That's what we keep doing. We keep taking it on the chin, having to deal with it, get hit upside the forehead because something else done went stupid, crazy at Jackson State. So whatever.
Well, I'm gonna leave y'all on a happy, funny note. My door's closed. And I can still smell my wife cooking from downstairs. And here's the sad part about it. I can't eat it till Friday.
Wow.
I have not had Thanksgiving dinner on Thanksgiving Day since 2008.
Explain
I
that.
I eat Thanksgiving dinner on Friday because Sunday through Thursday, I only eat 2,000 calories a day. That is how I lost 90 pounds and 14 inches. So when we have Thanksgiving dinner, Thursday is still 2,000 calories. So I eat Thanksgiving dinner on Friday. So like I said, I haven't had Thanksgiving dinner on Thanksgiving Day. So look here, look here. I watched the well, I don't watch NFL football, so but whatever I'm doing Thursday, I'm doing it with my honey wheat bread sandwich and lean turkey, and I had to wait till Friday to get the dressing. So that's a little for y'all. So y'all enjoyed the
Well,
mob.
let me tell you this though. I went off the screen. I kind of pulled a TD on y'all. I went off the screen and got me some sweet potato pie.
You got started early.
I'm gonna tell you why I say that. Because TD, when TD go off camera, TD he respected the platform. He won't chew on camera. He'll go off camera, he'll eat, then he come back on, he be mouth be full. He'll just he'll just do that slow chew.
I do.
You don't know. I be seeing it though. Now I'm just teasing though. No, I did give me some sweet potato pie though, man.
Look here, my wife got this. My wife got this one dessert. People just call it crack. It's so sweet. Look, it's like you combine peach cobbler with cake. Look at one of the ingredients. Check this out. One of the ingredients is cake dough, cake batter. That's just an ingredient by itself. Damn. So it's like peach cobbler, cake batter, caramel, roasted. Look here. 2 days after, folks be at my door like, y'all got some more of that dessert y'all had? Tell Miss Monica, we want some more of that sweet crack. So I'm gonna have to hold out the Friday to give me some of that sweet crack. But as always, man, I appreciate you, and I appreciate all y'all do. And when y'all post the videos, man, y'all out here illuminating DI love, and that's all I want to say is thank y'all. And one thing I'll say to people, understand that when you're in a fight, you ain't always winning.
Roy Fay, man.
You ain't always winning when you're in a fight.
That's right.
And I leave on this note. I have one of my mentors has a poem titled "Cosmic Deputy," and in that poem he says, "You cannot take your ball and go running home just because we are losing." And so I'll leave y'all on that. Do not take your ball and go running home just because we losing.
Thank you, Brother C. Lee.
Y'all take care.
85, you got anything before you get out?
Yeah, I'm go ahead and get off real quick, but I just wanted to say, I know we coming up on a year anniversary of finding out that that man over in Boulder was getting ready to exit us, and who would have known a year later we'll be on the night before discussing matters because we have a platform. You being obedient, Zoe being obedient, TD being obedient, Nook, Miss Rochelle, keeping this thing going to where we can get alums into to our own safe space and to express our views, because if we're gonna keep the world accountable, We got to keep our own selves accountable. And everything that we said tonight, it all comes from a place of love because we love Jackson State.
Hey,
And yeah,
I was gonna say it's just like looking in the mirror and being honest with yourself.
mhm.
You know, what I mean, it's the same thing, man. I always say this. I don't put my love for JSU over TD's. I don't put it over yours. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody feel how they feel. It is what it is. But yet at the same time, it's the same fuel, you know, that causes your engine to run. And I think we have to get to a place. Do you want us to critique us, or do you want others who don't really care about us to do it? And we just have to get to a place where we allow us to have real, true, intelligent dialogue and say, you know what, we got to be better. Every criticism ain't hate. You know what I'm saying? And you have to get yourself out of the way, man, and just look at the institution right now, man. We ain't in the best shape. If y'all be honest, we not in the best shape right now. And I love what Brother Jerome said, man. Some of us got to have some evaluation and say, you know what? You know, maybe I'm part of the problem as to why this thing ain't really moving like it need to be. And when you got those that want them, that have the motivation, and this is what I hate about the process being circumvented and not being done the right way. TD, you get those that really have the desire to really take on this challenge. They don't want to do it no more. It's like, all right, cool, I'm good. I'm gonna go away. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that those that, you know, those alums that were capable, you know, still in some way, some shape, form, or fashion, continue to stay the course. And like you said, don't take your ball home because we're losing. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, you know, working at the HBCU and being affiliated with the HBCU in any capacity, whether it's volunteer, staff, faculty, you know, alumni association, it's a ministry because at the end of the day, it's about those students on that campus. It's not about you, it's about those students. It's about the student that comes in from a place like Chula, majors in computer engineering, goes to Wells Fargo or Bank of America, making almost $100,000 a year. It's about that student that's the first generation that's never seen anything beyond their small town or city come to Jackson State and reach for the stars. So it ain't about your own individual agenda. And that goes for leadership, that goes for rank and file, that goes for folks associated with the Alumni Association. Like I say, we ain't calling nobody out by name, but it's a ministry. So you have to make sure that you're keeping the main thing the main thing. Check your intentions at the door. That goes also for the foundation board, because I know people have exited off the foundation board, folks on there right now. Make sure you're doing it for the right reasons, because if you're not, we're gonna call your ass out on it. Because I'm not holding anything back anymore. I don't have to. Like you said earlier, I don't need any more friends. My employer pays me pretty good, so I can really care less. And then I also want to say this. You know, the Bible says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and all of His righteousness, and everything else is going to be added unto you." Now,
Right.
the core of that, live right. And this goes for that small, talented group of leaders, and whether it's on Jackson State campus, City of Jackson, Hines County, whatever. Make sure you're leading, make sure you're living right. Stop chasing all the scattered AZZESs around town. Live right. If you married, stay on your own porch. Don't get all your personal business attached to the university, and then it makes everything else looks bad. Make sure you're doing the right thing. Make sure you're out there living right, because what you do behind closed doors affects your mind. It impacts what you do each and every day, and you make stupid decisions in the process. So make sure you're living right. Stop chasing these girls around campus. Stay out of folks' inboxes saying crazy stuff. Yeah, I said it. I had to put it out there because that's on my heart. It was on my heart to say tonight, but it's coming from a place of love. So make sure you're living right, because when you're in ministry and working at a HBCU is a ministry, make sure you're living right, because it ain't about you. Keep your business to yourself and make sure you're going hard each and every day for these students, because if you're not up to that challenge, get the hell out. And that's all I got to say for tonight. That's my time. Happy
Hey,
Thanksgiving.
appreciate you, brother. Might
Appreciate
drop
you.
moment right there, bro.
Right. D85 sure. I think I remember meeting you in I think we was in Miami.
That's right.
So
Yep.
don't remember the first name, but I want to say, man,
I remember it, but I ain't gonna say it.
Yeah.
anyway, I just want to say, man, I appreciate your thought. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your mind process. So again, thank you for always speaking your mind and being honest and articulating what you have to say and precise. So with that being said, again, thank you for the support of the platform and thanks for coming up because your comment is very valid, to the show as well. So thank you, and I hope that you and your family have a happy Thanksgiving as well, and
right,
let's continue to stick together and fight for what's right.
Likewise, brothers. D, I love guard the yard. Y'all have a good one, man.
Yes, sir. T Dizzle.
What's up, bro? Like that.
Hey, I ain't even mean to do that, but that was just.
It flows, man. I like that. But look, man.
T Dizzle, man. T Dizzle, my nizzle. Hey, brother. Look, man. You have a wonderful Thanksgiving, bro. And we'll be back Friday, man. You know what I'm saying? We'll be back. We'll have a light show on Friday, man, and we're gonna keep it rolling. I don't think we're gonna have a show on Monday. We're gonna take Monday off. Yeah, we'll take Monday off, man. We're gonna kick back a little bit, try to have a long extended weekend. We'll have probably we'll have a good how was everybody Thanksgiving Friday show, and then we'll take a few days off, man, and then we'll come back on Wednesday, and we'll unless we have some breaking news, and if we do, it'll be brief. We still won't have a show though on Monday, so just kind of something to keep in mind. We got content that we got to get out anyway, so we'll have some videos from the tailgate and all that good stuff. We'll be dropping some stuff every day, man. But appreciate you, big dog. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate everybody, man.
I also want to say to you, man, again, I appreciate you. I don't think a lot of people know how hard you work behind the scenes. Sometimes I don't know how hard you work behind the scene until the scene is in my face. So
appreciate that, Doc.
Again, just know, man, I'm always here for the cause. If I'm available, I can. If I can, I'll let you know. But if I'm here. Tiger Nation, happy Thanksgiving to you guys. We appreciate you. Hope you guys have a happy and a safe Thanksgiving. Shout out James Houston. I think Nugget out there with him. So go Lions tomorrow. Everybody sit down and watch that former Tiger play. And
James won't be playing, but he
I thought he was back, man. He's still not back.
Probably late December, man. He had it was a pretty bad injury he had with his ankle, I think. Yeah, it'd be like late December before he get back. So
okay. All right, brother. Well,
let me answer this though. Jason, what's up, brother? On the way out, what can fans do to assist in recruiting? The number one things fans can do is don't ever say anything negative online about the university, the coaches, or the players. That's the first thing. Number two, if you see a recruit out there with a Jackson State offer, blow it up. Show them mad love, man. Just nothing but mad love. Every time I see a recruit video, I retweet it. I always try to comment. I follow them, show them that love, because we had the live recruitment commitment announcement today from brother Jalen Payne. I'm sorry. I said Jaden. I'm sorry about that. Brother Jalen Payne. And that was the thing, TD, that really got it stuck with him, man. He was like, man, bro, when he put that uniform on, he posted that photo. He talked about he had over 57,000, close to 60,000 views on that thing. And that's just for a young man that's not getting that type of traction on anything to get that type. It's like, whoa, I just tapped into something. So way bigger than what myself. So that's what we can do. And another way we can get active when it comes to recruiting is shoot me an email. We got some conversations regarding NILs and stuff like that we got some things that we're doing where we're looking to incorporate this platform into the NIL space. So we're looking for some, some brand ambassador opportunities with some student athletes, and we're gonna push that pretty hard, this upcoming year in a way to where we're able to take this platform, because we spend a lot of time talking about student athletes on here, man. So we're mentioning their names, we're mentioning their images and their likenesses and stuff like that. So what better way to make that happen than to try to get into that space as well. So but we got some things that we are already doing, and we're just looking to grow that to the next level. You know what I mean? So that's what we can do, man. And we'll talk more after that. But I love Tiger Nation. Man, y'all go eat good, man. Love on your family. Go see your grandma. Go see your great grandma if she's still around. Go see all your loved ones if you can. And just appreciate your family, man. Appreciate your family, because somebody didn't make it to Thanksgiving. And I'm thankful for you guys. I'm thankful for TD. I'm thankful for you, brother. I'm thankful for KT Dub. I'm thankful for my brother Zoe, Rochelle, Nook, and the entire Tiger Nation that has been rocking with us from the jump. And we ain't stopping, bro. We finna keep going. So that's all we got, man. Signing off until Friday. Peace out, everybody.
Hey, I want some of that potato pie. Shout out to you. Appreciate it.